Hi, welcome back everybody to the Daily Cooking Show, to the Daily Cooking Stream. I hope you're all having a beautiful Sunday if you're watching this live, and I see that we have all of my lovely little sous chefs in the chat. Hello to Jack, hello to Moonha, hello to Paris, hello to Baconator, hello to Ali, hello to Iliam. Hi, it's good to see all of you. Hello to Trash Can Cat Mom, hello to Moonha, hello to Shazio. I also forgot to turn on my AC for today. Oh no, it would get a little too hot in the kitchen. It's good to see all of you guys. Welcome on in. First of all, first and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the older women in the world. Just had to get that one out of the way. Yeah, that's right, I'm rocking the Gengar shirt today. And everybody, I'm really excited about today's stream. And also, really quickly, as a nice little heads up, I'm really tired today. I only got like a few hours of sleep last night. I had to wake up at like 4:30 a.m. for something, and so I might be a little bit more low energy today than usual. So I'm gonna need some of your energy and encouragement to carry me through today. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be lovely. Also, thank you to everybody that was able to sub. I know that I did not keep track of who subbed when we were in the starting soon thing, but thank you anyways. Okay, so everybody, I'm really excited about today's stream. We're going to be doing something that I've actually not done before, and that is we're going to be preparing some Vietnamese spring rolls or summer rolls. And so let's talk about that distinction really quickly. Oftentimes, if you're ordering a spring roll, the thing that you might be associating it with is a deep fried egg roll, right? Made with an egg-based, I wouldn't want to say like a pasta, but like an egg-based wrapper, an egg and flour-based wrapper, and it's really, really crispy. This is not that. This is a Vietnamese spring roll. This is a summer roll. And so summer roll and spring roll can be used interchangeably for this, but for clarity's sake, let's just call it a summer roll. And a summer roll, my friends, begins with what is labeled as a spring roll wrapper, because spring rolls can oftentimes just refer to the deep fried egg roll kind. So some spring roll wrappers, aka some rice paper. This is super, super thin, little teeny tiny sheets of rice essentially. And this is going to, once we soak it in a little bit of water, this is going to go ahead and wrap around all of the filling, and it's going to be really, really yummy and really delicious. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that down behind me. So for Vietnamese spring rolls, for some summer rolls, guys, we're going to be doing it with a bunch of really delicious, really fresh, really, really like, you know, just really light fillings. It's essentially like a salad wrapped in and encased inside of the wrapper. And so we have this huge assortment of vegetables here, guys. I have a big old daikon radish, and then I also have a big old carrot, because we're going to be doing some quick pickled daikon radishes and carrots, excuse me. So we're going to be slicing them up nice and thin. We'll be pouring in a hot brine, and then we'll get these really, really lovely, really delicious pickles out of it. I have here some habanero chilies, because I don't have access to other like little red chilies, and so this is what I'm going to use for today. And these chilies are going to be used in my dipping sauce of choice. I have some lime juice. This is going to go into my fish sauce-based dipping sauce, as well as some ginger and some garlic, my friends. Okay, so let me go ahead and just set that behind me. Additionally, I have an ingredient that I said that I would never buy. I have an ingredient that I'm an avid hater of. I have a big pile of lettuce. And normally, I hate lettuce. Normally, I really don't like thinking about lettuce all that much because it doesn't have that much nutritional value. It's mostly a textural component, and it's sometimes a little too expensive for what it is. However, because it is my first time, making summer rolls, I wanted to just keep it as authentic and as traditional as possible. So what kind of lettuce are we going to be using for today? This is just a really basic green leaf lettuce. The only thing that you want to keep in mind when you're buying a lettuce for this is you just want to make sure that the leaves are nice and flexible. Okay, so like these are the outer parts of the green leaf lettuce. So this part is going to roll up really nicely. Bib lettuce, even iceberg would be okay. The one that I would stay away from would be romaine lettuce. And that's because romaine lettuce is so firm and romaine lettuce is so crunchy and has such a big stalk running through it. So you're really looking for something very soft and pliable, something that can easily just be rolled up, okay? And I'll go ahead and set that behind me. And now, the protein of choice for today, my friends. I have a bunch of shrimp that I thought out myself. This is some individually quick frozen shrimp. Already the head's off, but the shell's on, and we'll talk about the function of that in just a second. And of course, it would not be Vietnamese cooking without a nice big bottle of fish sauce, my friends. And the fish sauce is going to be used for the dipping sauce for today. Really pungent, but really delicious. It's going to balance so nicely with some of the lime juice, with some of the fresh herbs that we have. And then I guess that's like the basic gist of all the ingredients. I guess last but not least, we also have some vermicelli, my friends. Vermicelli, I never really know how to say it. Vermicelli. we have some really, really thin rice noodles. And this is going to comprise the majority of the filling inside of each of my summer rolls. So it's going to be lettuce, it's going to be a bunch of fresh cilantro, it's going to be some vermicelli, it's going to be some shrimp, it's all going to get wrapped up, and then we're going to make two kinds of sauces. We're going to make a peanut sauce, and then we're also going to do a fish sauce. And so what is fish sauce actually composed of? It is composed of fish. Slippy, a bunch of little teeny tiny fermented fish, really similar to like a Worcestershire sauce. A Worcestershire sauce is also made out of fermented fish, except it also has spices in addition to that. Okay, so everybody, we have a lot of work that we need to get done today. We're gonna make two dipping sauces. We're gonna make the pickled daikon and carrot completely from scratch. We have a lot of work ahead of us. Is everybody ready for today? I wanna hear a nice yes, chef, please, and thank you from everybody watching. And also, for those of you that haven't already done so, please, please, please check out my Patreon if you'd like to support the cooking show, if you'd like to support the cooking stream. My goal is to be able to do this full time one day, and so any and all support there would be really, really appreciated and go a super long way. Okay, so now that that is out of the way, my friends, we're going to begin by doing the pickled daikon and the pickled carrot, because this has to stay in the fridge for a little bit of time. That's a nice shirt. Where did I get that? Well, Tools Light. I got this at the Pokemon Center. This was the OmoCat Pokemon Center collaboration. Okay, so let's begin by breaking down my lovely vegetables. I have here a carrot and I have here a daikon radish. Now, this would make for an egregious amount of quick pickled vegetables. And also, I want to mention this really quickly. This isn't true pickling. This is a quick pickle. We're going to be heating up some vinegar and water and sugar, and we're going to be pouring it over these vegetables. And it's not really going to preserve them. They could last in the fridge for a couple of weeks, but it's not an actual real pickle. We're not canning it. We're not lacto-fermenting it. We're not doing anything like that. Super, super quick, super easy. This is almost like a marinated pickle. And so guys, we have these two lovely vegetables, and the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to peel off that skin. I have a lovely little vegetable peeler with me, and before we do actually get into that, I don't want to use up all of this carrot at once, because this is truly a lot of carrot. This would make for a lot of pickles, a lot more than I actually need for today. And so I'm only going to chunk off this little bit of carrot for today, and then similarly, I'm going to chunk off a similar portion of let's say that much daikon radish, something like that. Okay, the daikon's a little bit thicker than the carrot, so we're going to do sort of equal amounts of each. Okay, and I'm just going to get these bad boys back into the fridge in the meantime, just to hang out, because I have no more use for them today. Okay, so let's go ahead and peel them. And guys, you want to have a nice sharp peeler. If you're ever struggling with your peeler, this is the kind of a kitchen equipment tool that you do replace every so often, okay? I really like my V-neck peelers, so just really nice and sharp. And we're just going to go through the length of the carrot until we get rid of all of that skin, my friends. All of that skin. And of course, we have a little waste bowl so that we're not going directly onto the cutting board, so that we don't have to do this directly over the trash can. And as always, if anybody has any cooking questions for me whatsoever, please ask me and I'll be more than happy to answer. That's right, you don't need a fancy sharpener, right? Or a peeler. You don't need a fancy peeler. Gosh, it's been a long day, guys. You don't need a fancy peeler at all, because again, this is the kind of a thing that gets replaced often. Now, if you'd really like to get the most bang for your buck, you would get a carbon steel peeler. Although you would have to really watch out and make sure that it doesn't rust by constantly drying it off. The beauty of a carbon steel peeler is that it stays sharper for significantly longer periods of time. So you don't actually have to replace it as often, but you do have to babysit it. Okay, so my carrot is peeled, my daikon is peeled. I'm just going to go ahead and chop off a little bit off of each end. Beautiful. Okay, any cooking use for the skins are strictly composting. Slippy, I gotta say, maybe the carrot skins you could add in like the last few minutes of a stock, but I never really do anything with mine. I would just throw them away, or again, ideally, if you have built up that system, composting them would be quite ideal. Okay, so guys, I'm looking for really, really paper thin shreds. Now, ideally, you would do this with a mandolin, right? You would take a mandolin and then you would just be able to shave it down, and that's a really, really nice way of getting it done. I'm thinking of just using my knife for this, or alternatively, I could just do a bunch of little peelings of carrot, but that'd be a little bit cringe. So let's not do that. Okay, let's just go ahead and get these guys into a bunch of planks. So first thing that we're going to do, we're going to just slice this in half. We slice this in half so that we have two really stable surfaces of carrot, okay? So it's really, really nice and flat. And now we want to get the thinnest planks possible. You need a nice sharp knife. And everybody, I need you all to listen to me. I need to hear a nice yes chef from everybody watching, please and thank you. We do not chop. If you chop, your knife is going to cleave outwards and you're going to get an inconsistent slice of carrot. So I'm going to show you right now. Ready? Ready? Look what happens. Look what happens. I do this, purely vertical force. I do this and, well, actually, maybe that's not a very good example. Purely vertical force. And look what happens. It slid off. This piece is thinner on this end than it is on this end. It popped out, it slid off because we cleaved it, my friends. And that is not what we're looking for. We want to slice it. And by slicing it, by using the full length of the knife with minimal vertical force needed to be able to get through the vegetable, we'll be able to get the best and the most consistent little tiny planks of carrot. And then subsequently the daikon as well. So we slice it, my friends. We slice it, and we slice it, and we slice it, just like that. And now we get these really, really beautiful, thin little planks of carrot, guys. Nice and easy. Okay, let's flip it over. Let's make our lives a little bit easier. Slice it, and slice it, and slice it, and slice it. And we're almost done, guys. Okay? This guy's going to be a little bit difficult to keep slicing the same way that we were doing before. And so let's just turn him over this way and cut it into little planks like this. And I know these guys are not the most consistent to do with at the moment, but we're going to get them into a really, really beautiful julienne really, really soon. Okay, and let's go ahead and do that with my other carrot. Okay. So again, guys, slicing is the key to this. Slicing and slicing and slicing and slicing and slicing. Too much vertical force and your knife will pop out. So you want to slice, and we want to slice as thinly as possible. Now, why do we want to slice as thinly as possible? This is carrot. This is daikon. These are really, really thick vegetables. Okay, and so they're not actually going to pickle in time if we were to cut them too thick. They would just be sort of raw inside, and they won't really take in the marinade that we're doing, which is going to be the rice wine vinegar, as well as some water and sugar, okay? And so, by slicing it as thin as possible, we're going to be able to get the effect that we want in a really, really short amount of time. And it's just going to be able to penetrate it as much as it needs to. And you don't really have to worry about these vegetables in particular turning mushy. It's carrot and daikon at the end of the day. These guys are substantial. They will absolutely hold up. Okay, so now everybody, now that we have a bunch of little planks, now that we have a bunch of little stacks of carrot, we're going to go ahead and julienne this. Okay, so we're going to get this into really, really thin, teeny tiny strips. Think of something that you would want in a sandwich. Think of something that you'd want in your banh mi. Think of something that you would want in your summer roll. You don't want to bite into a big, thick chunk of raw carrot, okay? So we want to cut this into nice, thin strips. Look at that. Look at these strips. Look at these strips of carrot, guys. Almost see-through. Some of them see-through. That is exactly what we're looking for, okay? And whenever your stack gets a little bit wobbly, just readjust it as needed. And we're going to cut this into thin little strips all the way through. And just move that aside. Guys, look at my knife skills today. Look at these little shreds of carrot. Do you guys see that? Do you see how perfect that is? You can do that too. Anybody can do this, okay? You just need a nice sharp knife, and you need patience. Do not, under no circumstance, do not rush this process, okay? Because if you rush this process, your knife is going to slip. It's a little bit technical. You're not going to get the knife cut you want, and it'll be a little dangerous, okay? So nice, thin strips all the way through. Beautiful. Look at those carrots. Any tips for knife sharpening? I'm sort of scared to use a stone. I actually don't have any. I get my knives professionally sharpened, and so I don't think I'm the best person to give that kind of advice. So guys, we have all of this carrot. I'm gonna go ahead and get a little container for it now. Something that will be able to accommodate all of the carrot and all of the daikon. I think this should be deep enough, at least in theory. And guys, whenever you're cutting a lot, whenever you need to get a lot of little pieces, make sure that you're cleaning off your cutting board often. You don't want this cutting board to get overcrowded, okay? We just want to stay nice and organized, everything stay nice and neat. Look at these beautiful shreds of carrot. Look at these beautiful shreds of carrot. Look at these things. Can you believe that I did that by hand and not with a mandolin? Who'd have thought? And you can do it too. Again, nice sharp knife and patience, everybody. Also, thank you, Kaze. Happy Mother's Day to you, too. Okay. So, let's go ahead and get the next stack going. Okay, and just keep going, guys. Nice, thin, beautiful, beautiful strips of my carrot. Perfect to be rolled up and then consumed. And this is a bit of a tedious process. Okay, this is a bit of a labor of love. Let's go ahead and get rid of these current strips of carrot, and we'll go back into this one. Does anybody have any questions so far about this process? It's a little technical, it's a little tricky. Again, this is why having a mandolin really does pay off, so that you won't have to do things like this. But anything can still be achieved with a knife and a little bit more time. But again, be careful with your carrot stack, because things can get slippery quick. Okay? Beautiful. Beautiful little strips of carrot. Okay, I kind of messed up on a couple of these this time. My knife just sort of ended up angling. There you go. And let's just go ahead and once again, whenever the cutting board gets too crowded, we take it, we scoop it up, and we clean it up, my friends. Because remember, keeping your station clean is half the battle to make sure that you don't accidentally over chop anything. Okay, you see like I accidentally put my knife through a few times. That's okay. There you go. Okay, one last stack of carrot, or maybe we can do this in 2 stacks. I think that would be a little ambitious to do that all at once. Okay, let's take it and let's just line it up. Let's make sure that they're all facing the same way. Have I ever had a bad kitchen accident? No, Jack. I mean, I've nicked myself occasionally with a knife, but really nothing past that. I'm very good when it comes to being in a kitchen. Okay, and slice it, guys. Slice it and slice it and slice it all the way through. Slice it and 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 slice it. And we got to keep going. We got to get through all of this carrot until we have a bunch of beautiful little teeny tiny thin strips, guys. And we'll do the same exact thing as the daikon. Well, to the daikon, excuse me. Stainless steel or ceramic. Okay, so Serena, you're talking about sharpening. A little bit tedious, a little bit technical, but we'll do it. We'll pull through, guys. Now, normally I don't really put this much time into cutting something super fine, but the texture of this really does matter. Do not get lazy with this step. Do not get lazy with the step, guys, because you don't want to bite into a massive chunk of raw carrot, okay, inside of your roll. You don't want that inside of your summer roll. You want it to be nice and fresh and light and crunchy. And so in order to get that, you want really, really nice thin sticks, my friends. Okay, and so I'm also considering, do we even want to do like a hot pickle, or do we want to just do this cold? We'll heat it up. We'll heat up the brine and pour it over. Yeah, we'll go all the way with it. Okay, and keep going, keep going, keep going. Almost done, everybody. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There we go. That's that stack. Beautifully sliced, beautifully done. Okay, and these little guys are going to be a little bit tricky to get through, but we'll figure it out somehow. But yeah, you don't have to worry about these guys getting mushy. You don't have to worry about them getting overcooked. Again, I want to emphasize, thin slices at the end of the day will be ideal. Okay. I got a couple of thick pieces in here that I'm just going to not even bother with at the moment. Okay, everybody, that is all of my carrot done. And now we're going to be doing essentially the same exact thing to Mr. Daikon Radish. Is everybody still paying attention? I want to hear a nice yes, chef. Look at these knife cuts. Look at these knife cuts, guys. Look at this carrot. Beautifully shredded. Beautifully done. Okay. And now let's do Mr. Daikon in the same exact way. Stack them up. Slice them in half. Exactly in half. And then we're going to cut them up into some nice thick planks, although this guy should be at least a little easier. Daikon radishes aren't nearly as hard as carrots are, and so this process is going to be a little less laborious. Just take it and slice it, take it and slice it, take it, and we slice it all the way through. Until we have a bunch of beautiful little sheets of daikon. This is daikon radish kaze. It's a type of radish. It's long. It is used in a lot of different Asian cuisines. It's really, really yummy. It's really yummy pickled. It's really yummy raw. It's really, really tasty when it's cooked through. It's a very versatile vegetable and one that I actually don't cook with nearly as much as I would like to. And so part of this is I want to get a little bit more comfortable with the daikon radish. I've never made a quick pickled daikon radish before. Okay, and so this is what today is for. Okay, bunch of thin planks, thin planks, thin planks. Almost done, everybody. All the way through, all the way through, all the way through. And we should be set. And now it is time for us to get the same exact cut as we got on Mr. Carrot. So let's take this big stack of daikon, move them over to the side, get a nice big old pile of daikon all for ourselves. Stack them up, stack them up, stack them up. Get them nice and straight, get them nice and flat. Okay? And now that we have them all stacked up, we're going to get them. We're going to get them, we're going to slice them up. There you go. Beautiful. Those are exactly the kinds of cuts I'm looking for, guys. Nice and thin. And going to be perfectly crunchy when they get pickled. Okay. And as always, we clean up our station as we go. There you go. That's one little batch. And let's do the next one. Does anybody have any questions for me about this process? I know this is a little bit tedious. I know, but we're about to be done with it. We can do probably all of this in 2 more. Okay? So let's take it, let's stack them up. And this is a pretty big stack. This one's gonna get a little slippery. But we'll take it and we'll shred them up, shred them up, shred them up. Move it to the side. Take it, shred them up, shred them up, shred them up. Any other vegetables that work for this? So Alice and Ryan, the number one vegetable that I would always point to would be the onion. Red onions, you can do shallots, you can do leeks. Any sort of allium is ideal for quick pickling. Another thing that would be amazing would be some cucumber, right? Some cucumber in this would also be really, really lovely. But honestly, any vegetable that you could eat raw would be really, really good in this format. Now, I would abstain from leafy greens or anything, because of course the leafy greens, they would get like a little too soft and there really is no point in pickling a leafy green. The beauty of these kinds of vegetables is they really, really soak up the marinade. They really, really soak up all that vinegar. They soak up all that sugar. Scallion whites, amazing suggestion, Serena. Love that idea. Okay, last batch, last stack of the radish. We gotta get them sliced. We gotta get them processed. Okay, make sure, once again, that they're all facing the same way. And slice it, and slice it, and slice it, and slice it to oblivion, my friends. And move that stack away. And we continue to slice and slice and slice and slice. Almost done, everybody. Beautiful. Look at these. Look at these strands. Okay, and we're almost done. A little bit more radish to go, and then we'll be all done with this step, and we can move on to actually building the brine for them. Okay, that is all of my daikon. That is all of my carrot. Both of them are now ready to become pickles, or rather a quick pickle. Once again, I want to clarify that this is not a true quote-unquote pickle. This is a quick pickle, meaning we're not going to can them, we're not going to do anything crazy with them. Also, Salome, welcome on in. Happy Mother's Day to you as well. And the only thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to mix up my beautiful... Guys, look at these shreds. Look at these shreds. Look how lovely my shreds are. I'm just going to make sure that my daikon and my carrot is like somewhat mixed up so that we don't have to like mix it up later on. Just makes my life a little bit easier. Look how beautiful that is. Look how perfect all of my little shreds of carrot is. That was all done by hand too. And I got to say, my knife skills, as good as they are, they're not amazing. I don't do things too quickly. I don't rush it. But even me, even I am capable of getting something like that done. So let's talk about what we now need to do, which is to build the brine, everybody. So this is super simple, this is super easy, and the beauty of a quick pickle is that it is incredibly customizable. In my case today, I'm going to be doing equal parts of rice vinegar to water, but you can choose any kind of vinegar that you would like. You can choose any kind of acid that you would like. You could flavor this with black peppercorns, you can add bay leaves, you can do so many different things to it. Quick pickles are really, really fun because of just how customizable they are. Okay, and so all that I'm going to do is I'm going to get, it's not an exact ratio either because there is no food safety to consider here. All that we want to do is just get an equal-ish amount of vinegar to water. And so let me just get this cap off. I have no need for this cap, although it's being a little stubborn and it doesn't really want to come off. Come on, buddy, out you go. Give me the bottle. Thank you. And so I'm going to fill this up basically a little bit more than halfway, and we'll do the same amount of water. Okay? So that is my vinegar going inside of my saucepan, and we're going to do the same amount of water. Okay? And that should be good. A little bit of water, a little bit of vinegar, and then last but not least, and everybody, this is the part of the pickle that is actually really, really essential, especially for these Vietnamese quick pickled vegetables. You will need some sugar. You are going to need some amount of sweetness in here, because these vegetables, guys, they really benefit from it. They really soak it up. And so this is going to be more sugar than I typically ever use, which is, you know, roughly like 3 spoonfuls, even like 4 spoonfuls of sugar like that. All of it goes directly inside. Okay, and I'm just going to mix it up really quickly. Also, Natalie, happy Mother's Day. Thank you. I'm just going to mix up the sugar, but let's go ahead and go on over to my pot, to my stove, excuse me, and we're gonna bring this up to a little boil. Take it to the stove, just blast the heat on, and we can go ahead and watch it as it cooks. So everybody, you might be asking me, oh Daria, why are we even heating this up to begin with? And so let's talk about this really quickly. This is a quick pickle. The entire idea of this is that this is something that you could theoretically eat within 20 to 30 minutes after making it. By having a brine that is really, really hot, by having it heated up, and by having it boiling, we are essentially expediting that marination process. We are slightly softening the vegetable. Okay, we're slightly cooking it, but as a result, it's just going to be able to soak it up that much faster. It's going to be able to soak up the marinade that much faster, and it's not going to need days, it's not going to need weeks, but it will be ready in the span of 30 minutes. It'll be ready in the span of an hour. And so, we want to heat this up. We want to make sure that all the sugar is nice and dissolved. We just want to get it nice and bubbling, and then we'll go ahead and pour it over the carrots and the daikon radish. And I'll just be putting my sugar behind me. Does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? And I'll just have a little sip of water while we just have a little second to chill out. All we gotta do, guys, we just gotta bring it up to a boil. In fact, I'll just slap a lid on it just so that it is able to boil a little bit faster. Okay. Hi, hello. So again, we're just getting it up to a boil. We're gonna get it nice and hot. We're going to pour it over my carrots. We're going to pour it over my daikon radish. And we're not doing any salt. We're not doing any spices. I'm looking for a very clean flavor profile. I just want the flavor of my rice vinegar, and I just want the flavor of the sugar to really penetrate my vegetables. And again, the beauty of this, you can customize this with any kinds of, vinegar that you would like. You can customize this with different kinds of vegetables. You can do different spices in there as well. This is your pickle. You can make it any way you want. And so quick pickles are really creatively freeing for that reason. There's not a lot of rules that you have to respect, but again, just the golden ratio, 1 cup of water to 1 cup of vinegar, 1 to 1. It doesn't have to be too exact. Serena, I guess that is one way of putting it. That is definitely one way of saying it. Okay? And so, again, we're just looking for this to come up to a nice boil. It'll take no time at all. We just want to get bubbling. We want to get nice and hot because I really wanted to soften the vegetables a little bit, and I want it to really, really penetrate. And so, does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? I'll just grab a lid for this while I have a second as well. Okay. Is it boiling? Are we bubbling? Almost. Couple more seconds, and then we will be good to go. And then after we do the quick pickles, we're gonna let them chill out for a little bit, and then we have to prepare everything else for today. We have to poach some shrimp. We have to get my peanut sauce ready. We have to get my fish sauce ready as well. So we have a lot of prep ahead of us. So, is everybody ready for that? I want to hear the nice resounding yes, chef, from everybody watching, please, and thank you. Now let me just see if there's anything I can put away. Duolingo, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you, that's very sweet of you. It's lovely to see you, Duolingo. Come on, buddy. We want to see you boiling. We want to see those bubbles forming. We want to see it aggressively boiling. I don't just want the sugar dissolved. I want this to be nice and hot, my friends. So, it's getting there. It's getting there. It just needs 1 more second, and then it'll be perfect. And so, there it is. All of my carrots. Guys, again, please marvel in my beautifully sliced carrots and daikon. Also, that's not enough people saying, yes, chef. Look at that. Gorgeous. And now that it is boiling, we're going to take it, and we're just going to pour over all of my vinegar, all of the sugar, and all that water right on top of the vegetables And we want to make sure that it's all mostly covered. Okay? So once again, everybody, equal parts rice wine vinegar to water, roughly 1 cup of each or so, but again, I'm not really measuring with something like this. And the only thing that I want to do at this stage is I just want to make sure that everything is submerged. And there's a couple of ways that we can do this. The first thing is by quite literally taking something and just dunking it in there and pushing everything inside. But that means the topmost vegetables won't actually get pickled all that easily. And so, what's a really, really nice thing that you can do, you can take a paper towel, food grade of course, but I don't know if there's any non-food grade paper towels, little paper towel, and you put it directly on top. And the really nice part about this is the fact that the paper towel immediately soaks up all of that vinegar that is essentially encasing all of the ingredients. It's keeping all of them submerged. Okay, so that we have no pockets whatsoever. And just like that, really nice and easy, we open it up, and what do we have inside, guys? All of that carrot, all that daikon radish, and now, really, really important, we don't want to go immediately into the fridge. This is a glass container. If we shock it, if we go from boiling water into the fridge, not only is that not so good for the fridge, but that might also damage the glass itself. You could get cracks, you could even get explosions depending on the type of glass that it is. So, we're going to cool this down at room temperature for at least 20 minutes or so, and then we'll go into the fridge. This is a really, really important food safety thing, okay, guys? Really important. Do not, and I repeat, do not sleep on it. This is not a step that you want to forget about. Cool it off at room temperature, 20 to 30 minutes at the very least, before we put it into the fridge. I need to hear another yes, chef. Please and thank you. Somebody knocking just now? I don't know what that was. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set that behind me. Put that behind me now, until we are ready to think about it again, which is only going to be at the end, only when we're actually assembling the summer rolls. So everybody, what do we actually need to do for today? The quick pickles have now officially been finished. We have 2 different sauces that we need to make. And then we also have to soak some vermicelli noodles. We have to boil them. We have to also poach the shrimp really gently, shock it, slice it. So we have, again, a lot, and I do mean a lot of prep coming up ahead of us. And so let's begin doing some of the prep that we need for my sauces today. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff out of my fridge. Let's begin by doing my fish sauce, everybody. And so this fish sauce, okay, the first and foremost ingredient, the one that is kind of the most important, is getting yourself a nice little fish sauce. So let's talk about how do we actually check to see if fish sauce is still good. People have a bit of a misconception that fish sauce is the kind of a thing that stays good forever. And that's actually not entirely true. You're looking for it to have a light amber color. When you shine a light to it, it should still appear nice and red. Now, you guys might not be able to see it because of the proximity of the light and whatnot, but if you have a really, really old bottle of fish sauce just sort of sitting in your fridge, it might be time to go ahead and just sort of do away with it. You want to get all of the aroma, you want to get all the flavor, you want it to still be nice and amber. This looks a little darker than it actually is, but again, shine a light to it, and then you'll be able to properly see it. The older it gets, the more it oxidizes, the more it ferments, okay, and that is not what we're looking for. So, bottle of fish sauce. And we got to go ahead and get some of our other ingredients prepped and ready to go. I'm going to be doing this one in my mortar and pestle. We're going to be grinding it down. We're going to be smashing it up. Also, red boat over the squid brand. I mean, sure, Trina, I bought the squid brand because that's the cheapest brand that I had access to. So let's go ahead and get some of my ingredients ready to go. And again, we'll be doing this in my mortar and pestle, so it'll be really fun. It'll be really exciting. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to want some scallion whites. I have a bunch of these lovely scallions here, and the scallion greens we'll be using later on. And the only thing that I'm going to do, guys, to be able to prep it for today, is we're just going to go ahead and cut off. Ooh, I have all of this dried carrot and daikon on my knife still. We're going to go ahead and just cut off the roots. These are really nice to save if you want to use them for like a chicken stock or something, but we're not going to need that today at all. And so the rest of my scallion, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and just chunk it up into a size that my mortar and pestle will be able to properly handle. Okay, so those are my lovely scallions, and I'll just go ahead and set them aside on this plate that we have here. Which Pokemon would I like to eat, Chef? There's many ways to interpret this question. What Pokemon would I like to eat? I don't know if there's any that I would like to eat, like consume. So I'm going to say none. I'm going to say none at the moment, I'm afraid. Okay, next, I have this little habanero. And so let's talk about this for a second. Is this the kind of a chili that is typically used in Vietnamese cooking? And the answer is no, not in the slightest, not at all. However, I don't have access to those kinds of chilies. And in cooking, the most important thing is, instead of going out of your way to make something completely authentic, that you're spending a lot of money or you're going super far out of your way, you use the things that are first and foremost available to you. You can use a serrano, you can use a habanero, you can use a bird's eye chili, you could just use any kind of spicy chili that you would like for this type of dipping sauce. And so, the only thing that I'm going to do, I'm only going to use one habanero because you could really easily overuse this. It's incredibly spicy, it's really fruity, it's really aromatic, but I'm only going to be using one habanero, okay, especially because this is a raw sauce. I'm just going to go ahead and slice off the top, okay, and now that we've sliced off the top, I should probably put on some gloves because I really don't want to touch my eyes after cutting up a habanero. Again, habaneros, they are quite spicy. They're just kind of about like the spiciest that you could get in most supermarkets. Jalapeno serranos, they have nothing on a habanero. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glove on up, my friends. Gloving on up, gloving on up. Awesome. There we go. Okay. And let's just go ahead and get those seeds out because that would be a little bit too much heat in something like this. I'm a little baby. I apologize. That might be a lot of heat. So we're just going to go ahead and just slice off the flesh, or actually, much easier than that, we'll just pick out the seeds. So chef, what was the inspiration for today's dish? Really good question. That is a lovely question. So the answer is, I asked my mom what she would want on Mother's Day, and she wanted something with seafood. And so I wanted to do something with shrimp. And then I was like, okay, I've never actually made Vietnamese summer rolls before. And so this is what I wanted to do with myself today. That was my inspiration for the dish, so it's a really good question. I love that question. Okay, and all that I'm doing, guys, is I'm just going to chunk this up into something a little bit more sizable, once again, for my mortar and pestle, and I might not even be using all of this habanero. Again, it is incredibly spicy, so I want to chill out on that a little bit, okay? Okay, next thing that we're going to need. Oh, you back? Well, welcome on in. It's lovely to have you, Count JP. So we're going to go ahead and get a couple of garlic cloves now. We're going to need some garlic for the peanut sauce. So we'll be setting that aside as well. But right now we're mostly doing the fish sauce prep. Okay. So let's do, in total, these are really big garlic cloves. I'm honestly feeling like kind of one each at the moment. Yeah, one each should be okay. I'm going to say that that's okay. Lovely. And everybody, as you know, the thing that we always do to garlic, we want to get the skin off. We're just going to quickly press it down. Press it down with a little bench scraper, and that separates the skin from the rest of the clove. Okay, take it and press it. And now that that has been separated, as you can see, it just easily pops out. There you go. Awesome. And now one of these bad boys, we're not going to need him immediately. One of them we're going to be mincing up for my peanut sauce, and the other one I'm going to be doing in my mortar and pestle. And so there's really no need to put it through the garlic press or anything. But the other one we will. So one garlic clove. We're going to set that one aside. And my other garlic clove, I'm just going to put through Mr. Garlic Press. Even if I'm just doing one garlic clove, guys, again, I will continuously advocate for a garlic press. It makes your job so much easier. Mincing garlic is sticky. It is uncomfortable. It is annoying. It is a waste of time. A garlic press just makes quick, short, easy work out of everything that you need to do, okay? It makes your life so much easier. Okay, awesome. All of that garlic comes on out, and then we'll just take a little paring knife. Washing machine safe press? Yeah, well, I don't know if this one is, but I have been putting it in a washing machine this whole time, so if it's not, then whoops. Okay. Your ox has started falling apart? I see, I'm sorry to hear that. In general, my rule of thumb for garlic presses or any kitchen tool is look up what they use in industrial or commercial kitchens. Look up what's used in commercial kitchens, and that's usually just gonna be your best bet. Okay, so I'm poking the holes really quickly, just getting all of that garlic out of there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that into my dishwasher. But yeah, that one has been lasting me for quite some time. Okie dokie. Next, we have my garlic mince. This is gonna be for the peanut sauce. Next thing we're going to need, everybody, we gotta juice some limes because this sauce is gonna be based on some lime juice. It's gonna be some fish sauce. It's gonna be some sugar. So again, this has a lot of balance. We're gonna have heat from the habaneros. We're gonna have pungency from the garlic. We're gonna have acidity from the lime juice. We're gonna get that fermented funky flavor from the fish sauce and a little bit of sweetness from the sugar to be able to balance it all out. This is supposed to be an intense dipping sauce, everybody, okay? So let's go ahead and get this bad boy juiced up as well. So as always, I love my citrus press, one of my most beloved kitchen tools. It's so efficient. It just gets every single last drop. So we're going to go ahead, everybody, with the citrus press, always flesh side down. Flesh side down, put it down, and we give it a big old squeeze. And this one might not have a lot of juice. Oh my gosh, I'll take that back. That was a substantial amount of lime juice. And in fact, I'm only gonna juice one more lime half just in case that we need it. Because remember, limes, they're incredibly variable in how much acidity they actually end up having. Some days they have more, some days they have less. Okay, and so we want to just have a little bit of extra just in case so that we don't have to pull out Mr. Citrus Press again, but we're definitely not going to need one whole lime's worth of juice. Okay, everybody, flesh side down, once again, not flesh side up, flesh side down, and push it, push it all the way through, and let's get the rest of that lovely lime juice, guys. Awesome. What about that lime and me income? I'm not sure what you're saying at the moment, Jack. Okay, all of that lovely lime juice, and we're gonna go ahead and set that out. What happens if you do flesh side up? Dolingo, lime juice all over the place. Lime juice absolutely everywhere. That is what happens. So I've learned that the hard way through experience so that you guys don't have to, because remember, I'm here for all of you. I'm here to help you all out. Okay, everybody, and then we're also gonna get some ginger for the sauce. And it's going to be lovely, it's going to be pungent, it's going to be aromatic. But the ginger, I like to do a very little teeny tiny amount of, okay? I don't want to go overboard with my amount of ginger here. You can easily have too much ginger, and that becomes the only thing that you can taste, especially because of the fact that we're going to be crushing it and destroying it. So truly, I do mean it, like when I say, like, we're going to first just shave off this piece because it's a little dried off. I'm literally only looking for maybe like this much ginger in this entire sauce. This little teeny tiny piece of ginger, my friends. And so we're just going to go ahead and shave off the skin. Darla's not using the spoon method. Darla's wasting so much ginger. Oh, it's over. Get it, everybody. Go cancel it right now. Look how much ginger it just wasted. I don't care. A little bit of ginger. Actually, that might not be enough ginger. I'm looking at that amount of ginger, and I'm thinking maybe one more little tiny piece. Something like that will be good for us, I think. And again, I'm just getting rid of all of that yucky skin, because it's all dried off, and that is not what we're looking for today. Okay, awesome. Those are my two little ginger pieces, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to this to my fridge. Just put that away because we have no more use for ginger today. Okay, everybody, I think that that is actually the majority of the components for my sauce. So we have some scallion whites, we have some ginger, we have some garlic cloves, okay? And the only thing I want to do is I actually wish I separated them a little bit more because we're not going to be adding everything in at the same time. The idea is the garlic, at least for me, the way that I like to do it, I really want to like make sure that my garlic is super fine. I want my scallions to be in like medium-sized chunks. I want my chilies in slightly bigger chunks. The last thing that we actually need to prep is gonna be some cilantro, everybody. I have here a beautiful, fresh bundle of cilantro because you can't have this sauce without some cilantro. And let's take it out. Awesome. Oh, why am I talking like that? Awesome? I never say awesome. Okay, we have all the cilantro. And so guys, because of the fact that this is going to be in a sauce, what are we gonna do? We're going to go ahead and take the leaves off of the stem. We're not going to need to slice it or anything today, but we just gotta go in there and we gotta pluck off each leaf. Pluck it off, pluck it off, pluck it off. And then some of this is going to be used for my lovely, how do you say it, my summer rolls. It's going to go directly inside. It's going to be in the dipping sauce. It's going to go directly inside. It'll be great. And again, you could keep the stems on if you would like. I just really don't like the fibrous texture of them. Nighty-night, Pachirisu. It's lovely having you. Does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? So again, we're going through all of this, and we're plucking off all the leaves, all the little leaves from Mr. Cilantro. All of them have to go. Every single last one. Also, welcome on in, Minwoo. And again, it doesn't just have to be about this dish. It can be about anything else that you would like. I wanted something fresh. I want to get used to working with more ingredients that I've never worked with. Okay, so I know I seem really confident. I just really hope that this works out today. Jack, what are you saying, Q? Why is it that the classic cooking technique is always critiqued because it's wasteful, but the life hack is always preferred? Jack, we're talking about appealing to human psychology, and we're talking about content and the history and the influence that YouTube has had on people, where it's like, oh, look at this cool inventive thing. And so, let me explain to you why. When people don't understand why things exist, actually, let's get into a bit of a food rant. Let's make this into a food rant. Is everybody ready for a bit of a food rant? I know this is sudden, but I actually have something I can segue into here. Is everybody ready? I want to hear a nice resounding guest chef from everybody listening. Okay. I do mean a yes chef from everybody. We're going to get into this. And we're going to talk about culture, and we're going to talk about tradition, and we're going to talk about the old versus the new. Okay, so there's two groups of people that I hate. Well, hate is a strong word, but there's two groups of people here that I can generalize, which is, there's a group of people out there that in regards to any creative pursuit whatsoever, they think that, oh, all classical theory is bad, and they haven't actually learned enough about it to even tell you why it's bad, okay? But these are the same kinds of people that say, you don't need music theory to make music. Well, what do you mean? Music theory just means the study of music. It doesn't just mean classical music theory, right? So you have legitimate theory haters. Because what happens is you have the second group of people. You have the second group of people who basically say, well, this is the way that it's always done. Why do you do it this way? I don't know. I can't explain it to you. But this is the way that it's done just because. And you see this all the time in cooking. You see so many classical techniques that some of them exist for a good reason. Some of them absolutely do not exist for a good reason. Some of them are complete nonsense. Like, oh, you have to take out the quarter of the garlic because it gives you heartburn? Absolutely nonsense. Somebody just said that one day. However, other things are very useful, except people don't explain them very well. And they just say, this is the way that you have to do it just because. And so these are the two groups of people here that I innately dislike. And so, Jack, you're asking me, you know, why do people disregard classical techniques? It's because they don't know the value of it. It's because they've never been properly explained why. Nobody has been properly explained why those classical techniques even exist. Okay? And so, as a result, they've been led astray. They've been led to believe that, hey, you know what? Old theory is bad. You don't need theory at all. You can just improvise everything with hacks and techniques and tricks, right? And that's not necessarily true at all. Okay, so here we have a beautiful pile of cilantro. No, I have no idea what that was. No idea. No clue at all. There's no such thing as a B sharp. Count JP. That is just not true. There is a B sharp. B sharp does exist. It's just a relative key. It's B sharp and C natural are the same thing, but B sharp does exist. Okay, anyhow, guys, we have all of this lovely cilantro. It has now been plucked. We don't actually need to slice any cilantro today because this is gonna go to, what do you guys think? Do we slice some cilantro? I think we might actually slice some cilantro. I'm gonna take some of it and put it aside though, because I want whole leaves inside of my summer roll. And this is going to be the stuff for the sauce instead. How does Chef feel about pre-made pasta sauces? I do not like pre-made pasta sauces. They are taking advantage of people. So there's the two kinds of pre-made pasta sauces. You have your pregos, however you say it, which are really, really cheap, however atrocious in quality. And then you have the other side of it, which is Rayo's, which is half decent tomato sauce that you're buying for $10 a jar. It is absolutely insane. So I don't like any pre-made pasta sauces because the good ones are only accessible to people with too much money, and the bad ones are not good. They're just not very good. There's no reason for them to really exist aside from the fact that they're cheap. Okay, everybody. So as always, as you may know, we have my cilantro in hand. We do not chop it. We never chop fresh herbs. When you chop, you crush. When you slice, when we use the full length of the knife. Okay? Also, Count JP, that's not true. There are keys that call it B sharp. If you ever already have a C sharp in the key, and you need to have a C natural, right, then you would sort of write it as a B sharp. So Count JP, not necessarily true. So everybody, big old bundle of cilantro. Let's take it, and we're going to bundle it up like a little baby bird, not so firmly that we crush its little brains out, and not so gently that it flies away. And we're going to take it and we slice it, everybody. We slice it nice and thin and thin. We use the full length of the knife. We do not chop. We do not crush. Can I please get a yes, chef? We do not crush it. We just slice it, and we slice it and slice it and slightly. Would chef rather eat a Gengar gyoza, Bulbasaur birria, or Magikarp mac and cheese? None of the above. Actually, why would I want fish in my mac and cheese? I've never really thought that before. Okay, everybody, I have all of my lovely sliced up cilantro ready to go. And look at this gorgeous assortment of ingredients that we have here. This is all going to be going into the sauce that we are about to build. So let's go ahead and get my station set up. I'm going to move aside all of these other things that we do not need at the moment. And let's go ahead and get my gorgeous, my beautiful mortar and pestle. Ugh, come on, buddy. Up you go. It's heavy. It's a massive chunk of stone, guys. Okay, it's really, really, really heavy. Okay, and let's just adjust the camera slightly so that we could probably get a better view of it as we go at it. Okay, everybody, this is my molcajete. So let's talk about this really quickly. In Vietnamese cooking, the kind of mortar and pestle that would be used would be typically a wooden one. Wooden is for pounding, stone ones are for grinding. Wood for pounding, stone for grinding. And let me talk about why. Wood isn't going to chip if you pound wood. Wood against wood, it's not going to chip. Stone, on the other hand, it can crack. It's not very good for it to be pounding that aggressively with it. However, stone, especially my molcajete, is very, very coarse. And so the beauty of the coarseness, the beauty of that surface area, is that we get to then instead grind. Again, is this the traditional one that is used in Vietnamese cooking? And the answer is no. However, this is the one that I have, and we're going to be slightly adapting the sauce to the kinds of tools that we have. Okay, now do you have to do this in a mortar and pestle? The answer is no. You could get away with doing this inside of, you know, a food processor. A wooden mortar and pestle would be ideal here for the pounding motion, but we're not going to do that today. So everybody, we're going to be starting off with the garlic, okay, and a splash of lime juice, not all of lime juice immediately. We're going to save some for later. Some of the lime juice goes in now, and a big pinch of salt. So why do we add the lime juice directly to the garlic? So let's talk about this really quickly. The pungency of garlic is a little something called allicin. That is where the pungency comes from. Okay, and you get that pungency by crushing and smashing garlic. The more that you crush it, the more pungent it actually ends up becoming. However, in the presence of something acidic, vinegar, lime juice, etc., we actually inhibit a lot of that allicin production, and the garlic as a result is not nearly as pungent. I want to get all the delicious flavors out of the garlic, but I don't necessarily want all that pungency. And so, by processing it in the lime juice, and the salt is there for the abrasion really, by processing it inside of the lime juice, okay, we're going to just end up getting a really, really nice mild garlic flavor instead of an aggressive, overwhelming, pungent one. So I'm going to start by purely just, not pounding, but we're just smashing the garlic down so it lays a little bit flat inside. And now that we have smashed that garlic flat, we can go ahead and grind it into a beautiful garlic paste. Does that mean we add a bit more garlic than we would otherwise? Yes, Tarina, and specifically, you could just get away with adding as much garlic as you would like in this case. Now, it's not going to be perfect because we already sliced the garlic. It's not in the lime juice the whole time during the processing, so there is still going to be some of the pungency. It's just not going to be as much. So, with the molcajete, everybody, we are grinding. We take a little piece of garlic and we're sort of spreading it against the sides of my mortar and pestle. Okay, we're not chopping, we're not smashing, we're not doing anything. We're just taking it and dragging it, using a little bit of a twist of a wrist. And then, once we got into fine enough pieces, we can just do nice little circle motions. And we're really looking to just get rid of any massive chunks. Now, it's okay if there's some little chunks, okay? Little chunks are totally okay, guys. Do something like this, but right now we're just trying to obtain a nice little paste. That is all the lime juice, that is all the garlic at the moment. And we're grinding it down, my friends. Beautiful. Okay, so now that we got that all processed, let's go ahead and do the next thing. And we're doing this in the order from finest to coarsest. So we add the garlic at the beginning because we want it to be the absolute finest. We're going to be adding the chilies and the scallions and the cilantro at the end because we want it to be the coarsest. Okay, and so the ginger now goes into the lime juice with everything else, and we're going to grind this bad boy in the same exact way. We're going to take it and just spread it around and mash it along the sides, but I'm not looking for my ginger to be super, super fine. I still want to be able to occasionally pick it out, okay? So is there a point to eat steak raw or medium well? So Jack, you're asking me about steak done this. So let's talk about this really quickly. Why do we cook meat to begin with? So we talk about cooking meat, first of all, as a safety mechanism, right? In terms of like, okay, this beef is slightly old. We don't know where it necessarily came from. We have to cook this beef through. So what are the other benefits of actually cooking a piece of beef through? The other benefits of cooking a piece of beef through is, first of all, we get to render some of the fat. We get to render some of the fat so that we don't just bite into cold, raw fat. Second of all, the reason why we would cook through a piece of meat is because the texture of it does change as you cook it. It starts out as, I wouldn't say spongy, but almost like a wet, chewy rag. And then up until a certain point, it's not that it becomes more tender as you cook it. Up until around 140 degrees, it just has a bit more of a bite, so it's actually easier to chew. And then past 130, past 140 degrees, it becomes really, really tough and difficult to chew. So why would you cook a steak blue? And why do I really like my fillets blue? And what does it mean to cook something blue? To cook something blue means to keep it just barely cooked on the outside and completely raw on the inside. The only cut of meat that I like blue are filet mignons. And the reason why I like fillets, the reason why I like tenderloins blue is because they don't have any connective tissue that's too tough. There is no fat inside for you to necessarily render. And it's a piece of meat that's not too chewy when it's almost raw. My issue with something like a skirt steak being cooked to blue is that it does kind of have like that chewy wet rag effect. And so with a skirt steak, I like those medium, okay? So you always cook blue, Count JP, you can absolutely always cook blue. I just don't cook my skirt steaks blue, I don't cook my flank steaks blue. The cuts of steak that I cook blue are typically New York strips and fillets. Okay, so guys, take a look. This is my garlic, this is my ginger, this is my lime juice, okay? And now what's gonna be the next addition? I am thinking we're gonna do some scallions now, okay? And we're gonna do all of these scallions. And again, I'm just going from finest to coarsest. The garlic and the ginger, we want it to be the finest. The scallions, I don't want it completely ground up into a paste. I just want to be able to process it a little bit, my friends, okay? So let's get all of my lovely scallions inside, because remember, you can't ever have too many scallions. Chat, can we have too many scallions? I want to hear a nice resounding no, chef, please, and thank you. All of my scallions go in. You can't have too many scallions. Okay, and we're going to, once again, we're going to start by just taking each individual little piece of scallion and grinding it against the side to make sure that all the different layers come out properly. But we're not really going to be looking to turn this into a paste. Okay, I'm not looking for a scallion paste or anything. I just want to be able to release some of the flavors. I'm still looking for it to be nice and chunky in its own way. There you go, my friend. There you go. And just get each and every single little scallion somewhat crushed here. And again, you can go as much as you would like to on this, guys. This sauce you can make your own. I'm already breaking conventions by doing this in a molcajete and not inside of, a wooden one, right? We're not pounding, we're purely grinding. We're just grinding. Okay, so take a look. That is my scallions, that is my ginger, okay? And now I'm going to do some of my habanero, because again, habaneros are really, really spicy. And this is the one that I'm going to be keeping as intact as possible, because I don't want it to completely dissolve into the sauce and make it too spicy. The beauty of having this in whole pieces is that, again, you're able to really, really control the amount of heat that way, that you get in a little bite, okay? So guys, take a look. That's the kind of texture that we're looking for. Basically like a salsa, right? Nice and chunky, not too loose or anything, okay? That should actually be quite good at the moment. That looks pretty good for me. Okay, and now let's go ahead and finish off the sauce, everybody. So, what are we gonna need? We're going to need a spoonful of sugar, because we're about to add in some fish sauce. Okay, and the fish sauce is gonna make it all really, really pungent. We're gonna add the fish sauce, we're gonna add in the cilantro, and we're gonna add in the sugar, and then we're going to taste it. So, little teeny tiny spoonful of sugar goes in, not too much. Okay, we can always add more, but we can't take any away. So a little bit of sugar goes in right now. Okay. Just mix it all in, get everything all mixed up inside. And actually, because of the fact that we don't really need to do any more grinding, I could probably just take this out of this vessel before we add in the wet ingredients and just go ahead and transfer that into a little bowl. So let's go ahead and do that now, everybody. I'm just going to move this big behemoth of a mortar and pestle to the side. I got my little bowl all ready to go. And so let's just go ahead and scoop out all of this good stuff into my bowl. That's all of my scallion, that's all of my ginger, all of my garlic, all of my lime juice, all of it before it dries off on my stone. Take it and scoop it up, guys. Scoop it up, scoop it up, scoop it up. All of it goes out now. Alrighty, Jack. I'll see you on Wednesday. Thank you for stopping by today. Hope you have a good one, Jack. I'm catering and I have to prep some milkshakes. Okay, Tarita. I'll see you just lurking in a little bit. Guys, everybody is leaving. Everybody's leaving me. Of all days to leave me. This is the day. Can't believe it. Okay, and last little bit. You still hear it? Okay, I'm glad to hear it. All of my garlic, all of my lime juice, all of my ginger, all of my chilies. That is the paste that we have obtained. And let's just make sure that we're, again, going through this thoroughly so as not to waste anything, because all of it is spread out on the sides of my molcajete. Okay, and let's just go ahead and toss this behind me. Come on, buddy. Oh, I need to get the towel with it. Remember, guys, having a towel under it really stops it from scratching or denting the table that you are on. So that's always a good move to do. Okay, there you go. That is so heavy. Jesus Christ. Okay, my molcajete is now done with. Everybody, right here, my garlic, my ginger, my chilies, my scallions. Let's go in with all of my lovely cilantro. All of my cilantro. All of it goes in now. And we got to do a couple of nice big old glugs of fish sauce. Right? This is the real heart and the soul of this kind of a sauce, guys. The fish sauce is the pungency. It is the flavor. It is what this sauce is based on, okay? So again, we can always add some, but we can't take any away. And the last addition that we're going to do is we're going to do some hot water from the tap just to be able to dilute the sauce a little bit more so that it's not too, too funky, too intense. We just want to be able to dilute it into our final dipping sauce consistency. So a little bit of hot water from the tap is going to do just fine. And it's hot water so that the sugar is able to dissolve properly. Okay, everybody? Chilies, a little bit of salt, garlic, ginger, scallion, fish sauce, warm water, and a little bit of sugar. I know it doesn't look all that impressive, but it is really delicious. It's going to be amazing. And of course, we finish it with all the cilantro. No dish soap but salt. So yeah, I only do water to wash my molcajete. Although soap, many people say that it's okay. Okay, guys, let us have a little taste now that we've mixed it all up. Let's have a little taste. Ooh. Oh, that is good. Guys, that is amazing. Oh my God. That is everything that I just described. That is a little bit sweet. That's nice and garlicky. It's nice and spicy. It's nice and acidic. Guys, that is a beautiful dipping sauce. Do not sleep on this dipping sauce. It is so simple to put together. It is so simple to throw together. It is so aromatic. It is so delicious. And that's it. That is all the effort that we need for one of my dipping sauces for today. And so I'm going to go ahead and just spoon this bad boy out. That is lovely. Lovely. That is perfectly seasoned right off the bat. No need to make any kind of adjustments. Yes, the warm tap water. The warm water is actually the secret ingredient in this. Because without the warm water, it would be a little too intense. You would just sort of eat it and be like, oh, this is a lot at once. But in order to get it to be a really pleasant dipping sauce, this is what you do. And also, this is why I really like using a molcajete for this. Look at the viscosity. It's a little bit thick. It's not just completely liquidy. With the traditional method, not to sort of dig on the traditional method here, but with the traditional method, one of the issues, for me at least, is the fact that, it's kind of watery and it's separated. Okay, it's watery and it's separated, but because of the fact that we grinded the scallions, we grinded the garlic, and we grinded the ginger, we ground it, excuse me, we have this really lovely viscosity. And so, I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side. We're going to go ahead and take a little second to clean up everybody, and that sauce is perfect. That sauce is ready to go, and I'm really excited about it. Does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? So once again, just going to take a second just to clean up my station. We're not going to need any more fish sauce for today. And I'll be able to get my quick pickles into the fridge. Get them into the fridge so that they can cool down. And then we'll be able to assemble my lovely rice rolls. Okay. So, do I need my sugar for anything else? And the answer is actually going to be no. We're only going to need honey for the peanut sauce, which we're about to get making. Okay, lovely. My station is a little bit more organized than it was before. That's exactly what I'm looking for. All right, everybody, is everybody still watching? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, please and thank you. So, what are we doing today? We are doing some Vietnamese summer rolls. We've already made these really lovely quick pickled daikon, radishes and carrots. We thinly sliced them, we put it in some rice wine vinegar and water, and then we also made one of my dipping sauces. This dipping sauce is made out of lime juice and garlic and ginger and some fish sauce, because of course Vietnamese cooking, you gotta have some fish sauce. And the next sauce that we're going to make is gonna be the peanut sauce. Where's lamb sauce? Oh boy, oh no, we just had a Gordon Ramsay reference here. Chat, please inform, I don't know actually how to say your tag. Please let me know how to say your tag. Please inform our little, lovely guest here how I feel about Mr. Gordon Ramsay. The answer is not, I don't like him. Even though that was a lighthearted reference, I'm just getting at you, I promise. Okay, dokie. So, guys, the sauce, super delicious, super aromatic, really, really lovely. So simple to just go ahead and put together. And I'm going to go ahead and set these ingredients behind me, because we do not need them directly, at least at the moment. Okay, what are some of the other things that we're going to need for today? We're going to need to prepare my peanut sauce. Okay, so everybody, typically this sort of peanut sauce is done with a combination of peanut butter as well as some hoisin sauce. I don't actually have any hoisin sauce at the moment, so we're just going to kind of improvise it a little bit. We're going to do some peanut butter, we're going to do some garlic, we're going to fry the garlic a little bit, and we're going to just add in, some honey, and hopefully it just turns out good. We'll keep it really simple. And then I was also thinking, you know what, just because we have the rest of the habaneros, maybe we'll do like a spicy peanut sauce. I don't know, let's just feel it out. Let's feel it out, let's just see how it just goes. So at the moment, I have this saucepan from before. I think that is all of the sugar that is crystallized on the bottom, actually. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go quickly wash out this pot, and this is gonna be the pot that I use to cook my little sauce in. Just wash out that sugar that is stuck to the bottom, get that out of here, because I have no use for it at all. Okay, very cool. So all that we're gonna do, everybody, we're just gonna fry some garlic. We're gonna fry the garlic, we're gonna add in the peanut butter and the hoisin sauce, add in a little splash of water, and then it'll be good. It'll be lovely. Okay, and then we'll taste it, we'll adjust it for some seasonings. We might add a little salt if I'm feeling like I would like some heat in there. We'll add in some form of chili, being the habanero, or maybe just some sriracha, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so my pan is now officially on the stove, everybody. It is on the stove, it is going. And again, I'm just looking for something sweet. I'm looking for something salty, okay? We're just going to go ahead and heat this up a little bit. We'll add in a little bit of peanut oil because we're already using some peanut butter for this. Fry the garlic, add in some hoisin sauce, add in some water, add in the peanut butter, and then it'll all come together, I think. Right? I think that sounds pretty good. Okay, so in the meantime, let's go ahead and get a couple of the things ready for it. So this is the 1 clove of garlic that we'll be using, okay? 1 clove of garlic, because I'm not making a lot of sauce at the moment. I just need to make enough. Okay, and let's just go, this is the bowl that we used previously for my fish sauce. Okay, so all I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna wash this. We'll just wipe it off, right? It's fine if we have some residual sugar and fish sauce and whatnot. That'll be totally okay. And we're gonna go ahead and measure out some peanut butter and some honey inside. Also, by the way, speaking of ingredients that I would like to cook with more, peanut butter is definitely one of them. I don't cook with peanut butter a lot, and I guess I would just like to. But while this is going, while this is heating up, again, nice low heat because we're gonna be frying some garlic. Okay, we're going to go in with some peanut oil, or any kind of neutral cooking oil here will be good. Doesn't really matter for something like this. And nice low heat. We don't want to get this too hot or anything, okay? So let's go ahead and get some peanut butter inside. It's a little separated because this is a natural peanut butter. A natural peanut butter meaning there's like no hydrogenated fats and there's no emulsifying agents. And so with a natural peanut butter, that means that you always have to mix it up. This is just peanuts and this is just salt and it's all ground up. And so that means every single time you need to get in there, you got to get your spoon in there, some sort of a device, of some kind and mix it all back up. And it's a bit annoying, it's a bit of a headache, but at the end, it is ultimately worth it. Okay, so let's go ahead and somehow agitate this enough. I should invest in that peanut butter tool that like mixes it up for you, so that we're not dealing with this all the time. Because guys, look at this. This is a bit of a mess. In fact, I might just shut off this pan so that my oil doesn't get too hot. Okay, come on, buddy. Come on. And look, it looks all loose. It looks all separated. Trust me, guys, it just needs a little bit of mixing and it'll get there and it'll come together again. Yeah, this is, if you eat this kind of, if you eat like a natural peanut butter straight out of the jar, it's going to be like cement. This thing is already like cement at the moment, if you guys can tell. But such is how it goes. That is totally okay. I just want to be able to get this somewhat smooth. But alas, it seems like that's going to be a bit of a difficulty. So this is going to have to do for now. And then we'll just mix it up with the honey. And that will be okay. And again, guys, I'm not measuring anything. This is the kind of a thing where we're making a peanut sauce. Okay, let's be real. We don't need exact measurements. We don't need to be so precise that it ends our lives. Okay, we're just going to feel this out. We're going to eyeball it. And if it needs more peanut butter, if it needs more honey, we'll just add some. And that is one of the things about cooking that people don't really seem to understand. You have a really, really huge margin of error on a lot of things. Okay, you have a huge margin of error. You can really get creative with things. And at the end of the day, a lot more things than you would think are actually adjustable. So honey, peanut butter, let's mix it up. And we're also going to add in some warm tap water as well. Because again, this by itself would be a little too intense. What is this sauce for? This is going to be for the summer rolls. And so we're going to be dipping the summer rolls inside of this. Okay, let's go ahead and heat that pan back on up. And once again, everybody, just a little bit of warm tap water, just to be able to get everything all mixed through nice and smooth. I know it doesn't look like it's coming together right now, but it will in just a moment's time, especially as it heats up. When it heats up, when it gets going, it will be perfect. You guys just have to be patient with it, okay? Be patient, and you will be rewarded for all of your efforts. It'll all come together. It'll be nice and delicious. So just some honey, just some peanut butter, just some water, and now we got my oil heating up. Everybody, because of the fact that we're frying garlic, we kind of want this pan to be intentionally cold. When I say cold, I just dropped like my entire container of all of my spatulas and stuff. When I say cold, I just mean like not like sizzling hot. Like that might be a little too hot at the moment, but that's okay. We're just gonna move the garlic around, guys. Low heat, low heat. We just wanna infuse the oil with all of that garlicky flavor. Keep mixing it, keep mixing it, keep mixing it. Karate Kuba, thank you so much for the sub. Keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mixing. We just want to infuse the oil. We just want to fry the garlic. Let's get the garlic unstuck from the wooden spoon, guys. Keep mixing on the lowest heat possible, okay? And once we get slight golden brownage, which is exactly what we have now hit, let's go in with all of my peanut butter and my honey just directly inside. And now once it heats up, it'll all come together and be beautiful and really, really simple. Really, really simple. Really, really tasty sauce though. And so let's just get all of that honey dissolved, all of it melted down so that it's not solid. And I think that we're going to probably need a little bit more water to dilute this, because this is an incredibly thick peanut sauce at the moment. So let's get in a little bit more liquid. And just drop it all inside. And mix it up, everybody. Keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mixing. Get it all nice and combined and homogeneous. Or rather, as homogeneous as you can possibly get it. Nice low, medium low heat, something like that. And that will come out quite tasty. I might have added in an aggressive amount of peanut butter. That might be a little too much for what I need today. Chef, I'm making 10 pounds of strawberry and sugar vanilla syrup for milkshakes. Should I secretly add a drop of anise extract? I would not do that in case of there's any really... you have to like declare it, because if it's going to get catered, right, for like allergy reasons. So, I mean, you do you in that case, as long as you declare exactly what is in it, because it seems like you're going to be feeding a lot of people with it. Okay. I mean... this sauce is really so thick. I think I might have just had too much peanut butter inside. Is everybody still watching? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, please and thank you. Come on, guys, gotta keep it together. Gotta get it all together. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Until I just feel like the garlic has infused inside. And we can give it a little taste. We'll taste it for salinity. We'll taste it for sugar. We might add in some sriracha just because I would like some heat out of this and I think that would be fun. Okay, just keep going, keep mixing, keep mixing, keep mixing. And I'll have a little taste as it cools down. That is yummy. That is really tasty at the moment. But yeah, I think the extra dimension that the sriracha will add will be really, really nice. And so again, is this the world's most traditional peanut dipping sauce? No, and I'm not claiming that it is. Okay, I am just using some of the stuff that I already had at home, and I'm going for a very specific vibe, and we're going to achieve said vibe, and it'll be great. So let's go ahead and get all of this stuff mixed in, everybody. Let's get all of that sriracha mixed in. Get a little bit spicy, just so that's a little bit less one note, and we'll also do a nice little pinch of salt. Get the salt inside as well for the balance. So now that we have the sweetness, we have the spice, we have some salinity inside as well, we have some flavor from the garlic. And I think all of that starch that we added in from the hot sauce really does help to keep it all together. Okay, and let's give it another taste. That's really, really good. That is really, really yummy. Hi, Gigi. Welcome on in. It's lovely to have you. Yeah, guys, you know what? That tastes really lovely. Again, not the world's most traditional peanut sauce. You typically do this with peanut butter and hoisin sauce, but it's still going to be really yummy at the end of the day. And so, let's just go ahead and get this plated up into my cute little condiment cups. As always, get it in there, get it out of sight and out of mind. There's all of my peanut sauce, and we just want to go ahead and let this cool off until we're ready to eat it. All of it goes inside. There you go. And again, if you have some whole peanuts, you could garnish it with some peanuts. That'd also be really, really nice here. But in my case, I don't have any of that. I just had some peanut butter. And so, we made this little sauce. I wish I did have some hoisin though. Some hoisin would have really just, you know, it would just been a little bit more legit than it actually is. Okay, and it'll separate. It'll do the thing that it did before again because it's not an emulsified sauce or anything. So you just got to be patient with it. You just got to accept that. Guys, that is the peanut sauce. That is all done. I'm going to go ahead and soak my saucepan in some water just to go ahead and make sure that that peanut does not dry because it would be impossible to clean up after. So let's go ahead and get my peanut sauce as well into my separate little container. Everybody, we have made such good progress. We have done so much. And now the last few things that we need to do. We need to cook the shrimp, and then we also got to cook some vermicelli noodles. And then afterwards, once we cook the shrimp, once we cook the vermicelli noodles, guys, that's just going to be it. And then we'll be able to wrap it up, and then we'll be able to eat. Is everybody excited? I want to hear a nice yes, chef. Well, me, chef. In this case, actually, that would be quite good. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to take a second, and I'm going to put a couple of things away that we no longer need. Get them out of here, out of sight, and out of mind. Because remember, when you cook at home, you absolutely have to clean as you go. Clean as you go. Start off with a nice empty sink or an empty dishwasher, and you will thank yourself later. You will thank the future you. Okay, everybody, we have a couple things that we need to do. We got to get the vermicelli noodles done, and then we also have to go ahead and get the shrimp done. So let's do the vermicelli noodles first. I have this lovely little pack of vermicelli noodles. Now, I have a bit of a debate here. I'm actually really new to working with rice noodles in general. And I find that oftentimes I have very mixed success with them in terms of actually getting them to the right texture, in terms of actually getting them to taste the way that I want them to. And so, what am I trying to figure out here? Do I want to soak these? Do I want to just boil these? Will these be okay with just a soak? I want to try just doing a hot water soak. And I want to see with a hot water soak, is it going to actually get cooked through? These are really thin vermicelli noodles. Chat, what do you think? Do you think that if we do this in like some hot water, that they'll get cooked through? So let's go ahead and get my kettle going. I'm going to fill up my kettle with water. I'm not going to boil them. If we need to boil them, then we'll boil them. But at the moment, I do want to just try with a pure soak. I want to give it a pure hot water soak, and then we'll see how it ends up coming out, and we'll agitate it after a few minutes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some vermicelli noodles out and ready to go for us today. They're kind of all just grouped in the package, so it's a little difficult to take out at the moment. I'd really like to not destroy the package, but if I must, then I will. Okay, let's get a bowl. Let's get a nice bowl to put these guys in. Okay, and oh boy, I don't want the whole package of rice noodles. Please save me. I want one little bundle at a time. Why must this be so difficult? Probably because I didn't take off all the plastic. So this is a lot more difficult than it really needs to be at the moment. Okay, fine. I'll take out all of the plastic. We have all of those little shreds of rice noodles at the bottom. Could I remove this bundle in one piece? Is that possible? Is that allowed? Do they want me not to do that? Oh boy. That is incredibly annoying. My rice noodles. Somewhat destroyed, but that's okay. Is this going to be enough rice noodles for today? That is the question I want to answer right now. Oh man, I just have these things everywhere at the moment. I have some on the ground. This is terrible. Okay. Is this going to be enough for the ones that I want to make today? And my answer is maybe half of... No, that'll be like a crazy amount. That's like way too much for sure. Okay, let's get as many of the rice noodles in as possible, and we'll go ahead and get them soaked. Guys, again, I'm not the best when it comes to working with rice noodles. I would like to be better. I want to be able to get better at this. I want my methods to be better. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Okay, that is all of the rice noodles that I think I'm going to need for today. And guys, guess what? If we run out, well, you know what? We've run out. So that's totally okay. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little more now that I'm looking at this batch, now that I'm looking at this quantity. But I have no idea how I'm even going to begin thinking about separating it. Okay, it's fine. I give up. I give up. That's going to be the amount of rice noodles that we have for today. If it's not enough, then so be it. Okay? Oh, this thing is falling apart, everybody. This is so difficult to get back into the package. I am making a mess of myself at the moment. Come on, buddy. In you go. I'm like the Noodle of cooking content. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. Okay. That's a very good compliment to give me. Except, I'm not really doing interviews, am I? Okay. Rice noodles. Got them all in one clean, fell swoop. Ignore all of the rice noodles that I've dropped onto the ground. Ignore them. They do not matter at all at this point. And it's okay if they're broken. They're not supposed to be like super long or anything. That's not even me coping. They're going to go inside of a roll. They're going to be wrapped up. This does not need to be perfect by any stretch of, by any means. Okay, let's just get those long noodles and then I'll just wipe off my station. Guys, rice noodles, and we'll just go ahead and pour in some nice hot water right from the kettle to hopefully be able to soak all of these bad boys through in time. Cover them up good. Okie dokie. And now let's agitate them. We're going to agitate them slightly just to make sure that they do not stick to one another. Because if they stick, it's going to be over. If they stick, we're going to just get a big, mushy, gloopy mess. So we're just agitating them ever so slightly just to make sure that that's not going to be the case. So chat, let's take bets. Who thinks that it's going to be fully cooked through with purely a hot water soak? What do you guys think? Let's take some bets. 1 for cook through the hot water soak. 2 with it needs an additional boiling stage. And if it's going to get cooked, it's going to be like in the next like 10 minutes or so. Okay, we'll see. We'll find out. 1, they're very thin. These are incredibly thin. And that is why I bought them. I did buy them because they're so thin. So hopefully they will just be able to cook up really quickly. And worst case scenario, we'll give them a little blanch. Okay. Definitely not. Definitely needs some time to be able to soak through properly. So we're not going to know for certain, but I'm just going to go ahead and set a timer for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Set a timer for 5 minutes and then we'll go ahead and check back in on him. Hopefully. Let's hope. I'd really not like to boil another pot of water if I can help it. Okay? I'm just making sure that everything is submerged, that everything is agitated, so that nothing is sticking to each other. But let's not move it around too aggressively. Okay, everybody, my rice noodles, they are soaking. We will figure out whether or not they will be able to hold up to it. And now, let us talk about Mr. Shrimp. Is everybody ready for this? I want to hear a nice yes chef from everybody watching. I need the energy. I need the enthusiasm. Please and thank you. Okay? I'm going to need you all to be present and alive and well. So, shrimp. How do we actually buy shrimp in the United States? What's one of the best ways to buy shrimp? Well, let's talk about this. I have here, woo, I just dropped the bag. Thank goodness Jack isn't here to count that one up on the tally. Guys, I have here a lovely bag of individually quick frozen shrimp. Also, that is not enough yes chefs. Everybody, get it together. I need to hear a yes chef from everybody watching. Guys, I have a bag from, I have a bunch of individually quick frozen shrimp. IQF shrimp here is essential. There's two ways that you can buy frozen shrimp. Individually quick frozen and block frozen. Block frozen meaning they're all stuck together in a big block of ice. Individually quick frozen, they quickly and easily defrost. So why do we buy frozen shrimp? The majority of the shrimp that you buy in supermarkets in the United States have already come in frozen. Unless you live somewhere coastal where you can buy live shrimp, the shrimp that you're buying has already been frozen and it's already been sitting out and thawing for God knows how long. So, buy the freshest shrimp possible by buying frozen shrimp, everybody. Individually quick frozen shrimp, that's what we're looking for, okay? Really, really simple. And I got the easy peel ones. Ideally, we would do head on, tail on. Easy peel just means that it has a shell on. And the reason why we want the shell is because the shell is going to protect the meat while it's cooking, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put that back into the freezer and we're going to poach these little guys. So let's talk about this, everybody. We're not going to boil my shrimp. We're only going to poach them. So what is the difference? Poaching is a gentle process. Let's talk about the way that the majority of people end up cooking their shrimp. They take a big pot of water, they bring it up to a boil, okay? And then they go, okay, my water is boiling, I'm gonna go dunk my shrimp in. Guys, when you have shrimp that's overcooked, it's rubbery, it's tense, it's chewy. By slow cooking it, like a potato almost, by starting it off in some nice cold water, we will ensure that we have a perfectly cooked, evenly cooked shrimp. In boiling water, the outside will overcook before the inside is done. Do you all understand? That is also just not enough yes chefs. Are people even listening? So all of my shrimp, they go directly inside of the pot, and then we're just going to go ahead and fill that up with some nice cold water. And as we cook the shrimp, guys, we never take it past the gentlest, and I do mean the gentlest of bubbling motions. It has to be gentle. If your cooking process is not gentle, you're going to end up with a bunch of overcooked shrimp. And chat, I don't think we want any overcooked shrimp, do we? Shell on, the shell is going to protect the outside flesh from overcooking the best that it can, okay? And then we're just going to go ahead and fill this up with some nice cold water. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab my kettle again, fill it up, and see what it does. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. And we're gonna go ahead and make sure that all the shrimp is nicely covered. We don't want any exposed shrimp, because if the shrimp is exposed, what's going to happen is the topmost shrimp is not actually going to evenly cook through. So we take the water and we cover up Mr. Shrimp with all of that water. Okay, and I'll go ahead and get rid of my kettle again. And we're gonna go ahead and hit this with a nice, generous pinch of salt, everybody. Nice big old pinch of salt just to make sure that my shrimp is nicely and evenly seasoned. And in fact, we could probably just throw in the remaining amount of lime juice that I have, just so that I don't waste it. And all of my leftover lime juice, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor. Okay, everybody, we're gonna take it and we're gonna heat it up. I never wanna see that water boiling. I never wanna see it boiling. I never wanna see it bubbling. I wanna see the gentlest of bubbles. And that is how we get perfectly cooked through shrimp, everybody. If we boil it, if we attack it with heat, the outside is gonna overcook before the inside is done, and the shrimp is not gonna be nice and tender. Okay, so the shrimp is going. Everybody, let us inspect the rice noodles. The rice noodles have been soaking for a little bit now, not too long. Okay, also, I could probably adjust my camera angle because I don't know what's going on there, but later, not right now. Okay, guys, take a look at my rice noodles. Honestly, they have been soaking up quite good. And that timer is for the rice noodles. Let's see the texture. Let's see the texture. Let's give it a little bit of a taste. I can already tell you it is slightly firm. It's not exactly what I was looking for in terms of like fluffiness. You know, that still does have a little bit of texture to it. I bet with another few minutes of soaking, I think that's going to yield us the texture of rice noodles that we want. I actually don't think these noodles need any additional boiling, guys. I think it paid off. I think everything that we did to these little guys ended up paying off. Whoa. But let's not get too hasty. We still have some thick strands in there, right? Like these really, really bunched up ones that aren't actually properly soaking. So we just have to agitate it, guys. We have to agitate it. We have to just make sure that there's no clumps of it anywhere. Okay? Something like that. Perfect. Also, hi, Alien. Welcome on in. All of my rice noodles are beautifully soaking. Everybody, I think it's time for us to do a bit of a recap session. Chef, I think you'll need to switch to cold water so they don't form a single blob. G-Spent Gaming, you are correct. However, I don't think that we have hit that stage yet because they're still not fully cooked. They still have a little texture to them, a little bit more than I would like. And so, we'll check back in on them in a few minutes. All right, we'll set another timer for 5 minutes. We just agitate them a little bit. Let's let these bad boys continue to soak. So, is everybody ready for a recap session? I want to hear a nice yes chef from everybody watching, please and thank you. We're making today some shrimp Vietnamese summer rolls. And so the way that we started the day off is we have some lovely, quick pickled daikon radish and carrot. Okay, and this has been slowly going. It's been slowly marinating. Look at those beautiful knife cuts that we got. Okay, let's get another fresh pair of chopsticks for this. Okay, look at my knife cuts, guys. Look at the way that this was shredded up beautifully. Okay, and it's sitting there and it's soaking in all of that lovely marinade that we put inside of it. Okay, and let's go ahead and get this bad boy back into the fridge. Although, I just want to sneak a little taste. That's good. In fact, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So a little bit of crunch to it, a little bit sweet from the sugar that we added, nice and acidic. That is beautiful. That's a really nice quick pickle. And so I think our need for the paper towel has also now gone away because it has already now collapsed in texture a little bit. So let's just take that and let's just move it over a little bit. Let's just flip it around. Just make sure that we're distributing the pickles and we'll get this back into the fridge to let it continue to cool off. Okay, so what else did we accomplish for the summer rolls today? Well, I'll tell you about that in just a second after I put this away. Let's get that out of here. Thank you very much. Everybody, we made 2 different kinds of dipping sauces for you today. So, I have right here, this is a bit of a spicy peanut sauce. Really simple, fried some garlic, some honey, some peanut butter, and then some sriracha as well. Not very traditional spicy peanut sauce, but it's still gonna be really, really delicious. And over here, my friends, this is lime juice, garlic, ginger, some fish sauce, some cilantro. Okay, really aromatic, really flavorful, really, really pungent. This guy right here is really like sweet and creamy and spicy. And so I just want to have a little taste of him. He's a little thick, but that's okay. Let's have a little taste. That's so good. So tasty. It's got a little kick to it. It's really, really pleasant. And so what are we doing now? What are we doing in the meantime? We are currently poaching some shrimp. We're not boiling it. We're gently, gently cooking it in some nice warm water. We added in salt. We added in some lime juice. Okay, and the only thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stir it around just to feel better about myself, just to make sure that it's all cooking as evenly as it can. And once this is done cooking, we have to take the shells off. Why did we leave the shells on? Because the shells protect the outside of the meat from overcooking too much. Okay, so I'm just gonna mix in the lime juice, I'm gonna just mix in the salt, and we're just going to let this continue to cook, my friends. And again, I never want to see the shrimp boiling. I never want to see it boiling. I never want to see it aggressively bubbling. I just want to see the gentlest, and I do mean the gentlest of simmers. So what do we have left to do? Let's go ahead and inspect my vermicelli noodles one more time. See how those are coming along? We're looking for them to get nice and essentially cook through purely from the soaking. And this is a really good sign that they're turning completely white. That's them just saying, hey, we're saturating full of water. We're getting nice and cooked exactly the way that you want us to. Let's have a little taste of it now. The texture, I can already tell you, is so much better. Okay, and let's get a little taste. Okay, guys, I think this is gonna be perfect with just a soak. Just a soak, and it will come out lovely. Yep, and it's none of it is sticking together. All of it is still nice and individual. That looks great. No, not al dente. We don't really want rice noodles to be al dente. It's a very unpleasant sort of al dente if we get there. Okay, everybody, what other prep do we actually need to get done for the spring rolls? The sauce is done. We got to start assembling our station a little bit for when the shrimp is cooked and we slice it in half. We got to start just getting all of the ingredients out and ready to go. Let's see, what else can we do in the meantime? We could also prepare some scallions, guys. Okay, so I have some scallions here. I just want to be able to also just shove these guys into the spring roll. So let's just get them all ready to go. And we're only going to be using the greens for this one. Only the greens, so that it is not too pungent, so that it's not too harsh. Okay, lovely. And so what am I going to do with the greens? I'm going to just make them a little bit easier to chew inside of the actual spring roll, okay? And so all that we're going to do is I'm just going to take it and I'm going to just slice, actually with a paring knife. I'm going to take it and I'm going to just slice it in half lengthwise. Like so, just so that it's not like too tough of a bite or anything. Okay? And just split it, and maybe we'll split it one more time in half. Just so that we have a bunch of lovely little scallion sticks that we can go ahead and put inside. Okay, so scallion, we're tracing it to the end. Awesome. Take it and trace it, trace it, trace it. That is the time we're telling us that the rice noodles are done, but we've already known that for a while. Okay, and the scallion, once again, everybody, we take it and we trace it all the way through. We take it and we trace it. And this is why it's really nice having a paring knife, because you're just able to gently guide the blade. Okay, my shrimp, it's slowly beginning to get there, everybody. We're going to need in total about like 5 minutes of poaching, three to 5 minutes. So I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. Again, I never want to see that water bubbling. Okay, so let's get these scallions all ready to go. There you go. And let's also get this one all prepped for us. Lovely. I think that looks quite good at the moment. Does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? I know we've hit like a bit of a dull moment. We just got to wait for the shrimp to get cooked. And once the shrimp is cooked, guys, we'll be able to assemble, and then we'll be able to finally enjoy. Okay. I think that should be, at least theoretically, enough scallions for today. But let's just get one more just in case. I feel like that's not enough. Okay, is everybody still watching? Is everybody still listening? I want to hear this, yes, chef, please, and thank you. Okay, that should be good. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these into the fridge. And I think we could probably get a few more cilantro leaves in the meantime, because the amount that I have, I don't know if it'll be entirely sufficient. Okay. My shrimp is going. My shrimp is looking beautiful. Again, just really, really gentle cooking method, everybody. We're not boiling it. We're not blanching it. We're just ever so slightly poaching it. Okay, let's go ahead and get a nice big plate of all of my different fillings. Do your green onions ever get the goopy stuff in it? I do. And what do I do with it? I don't really do much. Duolingo, if you get the goopy stuff, that's because you just separated the layers. It's the same exact thing happens to regular onions. Okay, so that's gonna be my scallions. And then on this side is gonna be my cilantro. And we're gonna keep them nice and separated. Okay, so that they don't get all mixed up together. Beautiful. Okay. And again, I'm just going to inspect the shrimp. All I'm really looking for is I'm looking for the shrimp to fully curl up on themselves. That's a really good indication of they've done this. And then we'll take them out, and then we'll run them under some nice cold water from the tap. We're really using the tap a lot today. It's putting in some serious work for us. Okay. Yeah, those rice noodles, guys, they're going to be perfect. Awesome. Okay. It's almost there, everybody. Again, gentle cooking is the key to doing shrimp like this. Never boiling, never bubbling too aggressively, just keeping it all really, really simple, keeping it all really, really easy. Okay, so what else do we need to do? My daikon and carrots are still in the fridge cooling off. My sauces are done. My lettuce is all washed. Honestly, we've already done a majority of the work that we needed to. And so the only thing now is just making sure that we're staying nice and organized. If we stay nice and organized, the process of actually assembling it is going to be really, really simple. Okay. Just getting my lettuce all together as well. My shrimp, again, guys, it is continuing to just gently poach all the way through. We don't want tough overcooked shrimp. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is a beautifully done shrimp. We're going to go ahead and kill the heat we're gonna kill the heat, and we're gonna go ahead and dump that over the strainer into the sink. Strain it all out, and we're gonna rinse it under some nice cool water. And because of the fact that we poached it, we don't really need to do like an aggressive ice bath shock or anything, right? Because of the fact that we just gently poached it, it takes no time at all to get it to cool off. Okay? And you guys might be able to see me for a second, but all I'm gonna do, I'm just running my shrimp under the water. I'm running it under the water, running it under some nice cold water, and then we'll process all of my lovely little shrimpies. Process it, get it ready to go. Until all of them are thoroughly chilled out. So I apologize for stepping off frame for a second, guys. You know what? I think I could keep myself mostly on, so you guys could still have a little chance to look at me. So again, cooling off the shrimp so that we just stop them from cooking, just running them under some nice cold water. We don't need to set up an elaborate ice bath or anything. We're keeping it really simple today. Okay, and I think that should be good. It's okay for them to be slightly warm, but the thing that we're really not looking for is for them to be hot in any sort of capacity. Okay, everybody, my shrimp has all officially cooled off. We've just rinsed it all under some nice running water, and let's go ahead and take a look at my lovely little shrimpies. Let's get a load of these bad boys. Let's get a little bowl to put them on. And so now what is our goal? Our goal is to go ahead and separate all of the shells. We gotta get the shells out of there, and we also gotta slice each shrimp in half. So everybody, let's go ahead and get that started. So here's the process, here's the workflow. Shrimp, this is an easy peel shrimp. Again, why did I choose easy peel? Because that's all they had. Ideally, you would do head on, tail on. Okay, shrimp, we take it and we just pop them out of that shell, and we try to keep them as intact as humanly possible. And we just go ahead and discard that shell. We take them and we pop them out. Does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? We just got to do this process. It's going to be a bit laborious, well, rather not laborious, but tedious is the right word here. A little bit tedious, and then we'll be all good. Deveined, yes, Dolingo, these are easy peel. So easy peel shrimp, they're already deveined and they have the head cut off, but they just leave some of the shells on. That's all that they do to it. Okay, each and every single one of them, guys, they got to get out of their shells because we don't want shells. We don't want to bite into a spring roll with the shell in it, okay? Favorite way to eat shrimp? Slippy, that's a really good question. What is my favorite way to eat shrimp? I mean, I really like what I did last time when I did like the Creole shrimp and like the Creole sauce with like the tomatoes. That was really lovely. Otherwise, honestly, just like a really good quality prawn that's just been poached and like a butter sauce of some kind. That's always really amazing. Why would I ideally do head on, tail on? Good question. And so that's just purely to expose as little of the flesh as possible. Because of the fact that it would have the head on and the tail on, that would mean that there is so much less flesh actually coming into contact with the hot water, and it'll just be able to gently steam inside of said shell. Additionally, head on, tail on, you get to like control a little bit better. Oftentimes they take off a little too much of the meat when they take off the head, when they devein it for you. And so even if it is more effort, you just get more control over your end product. And you get to keep all those shells and tails and heads for a stock later on if you would like as well. But at the moment, all that I'm doing, guys, is I'm just going through all of my shrimp. I'm peeling it. I'm popping out all the shells. Every single last one, they all have to go. And we have these lovely, beautiful poached shrimp. And they're not overcooked. They're not overcooked because, again, we didn't plunge it into boiling water. Okay? We just kept it really, really simple. And I'm just going to agitate my rice noodles again just to make sure that they're okay. And they seem to be doing just fine. Okay? And let's keep going, everybody. Just a few more shrimp to do, okay? I also might have cooked a little too much shrimp, but that's okay. Because every now and then, that's a good shrimp. It is so simple. It is just a boiled piece of shrimp, and it's lovely. Okay, thank you, Serena, for stopping by. It's lovely to have you, as always. But guys, we're about to get to the fun part, which is going to be assembly. The assembly is what we're all in it for. And once we assemble, we'll wrap it all up, and it'll be amazing. Suimon, I'm not really sure what you're asking. Also, tell me how to pronounce your tag. Do I have a certain bravoure dish? I'm not sure what that means. Okay. There you go. And just 3 more to do, guys. Or 4 more to do, rather. Pop off those legs. Pop off the tail. Come on, buddy. Oh, this one does not want to peel today. This one's being a little stubborn at the moment. But that's okay. Keep peeling, keep peeling. We gotta get through all of the shrimp, my friends. Is there a dish that you're great at making, your specialty? Honestly, I'm gonna say any rice and beans dish. Any rice and beans dish, that'll always be my specialty. I love beans, I love legumes to death. Those I always do exceptionally well. I season them, I give them a lot of love, I give them a lot of care, I give them a lot of attention. Those are always just the ones. Otherwise, I mean, I make a really good risotto when I need to impress somebody, but I don't really oftentimes consider risotto as home cooking. Okay, all of my shrimp, guys, we gotta peel it, we gotta keep peeling. We're almost done with this process. We have one last one after this, and then we gotta slice each of them in half. Okay, all right, there you go. And one last one. There she is. Off she comes. Okay, guys, and now we're gonna slice them in half lengthwise. And the reason why we slice them in half lengthwise is because imagine this thick guy getting all rolled up. By cutting him in half lengthwise, he'll be a lot easier to just lay nice and flat inside of the spring roll and not compromise his structural integrity. Okay, so beautifully cooked piece of shrimp. Look at these little guys. We're gonna slice each and every single one of them in half and inspect them for any remaining shells. Is everybody still watching? I wanna hear a nice yes, chef. So going through it all with my nice little paring knife, because it just makes my life so much easier. What is the best way to actually get this done? I wonder. Because it is a little tricky to just kind of like stack it up like this, especially when it's cooked, because it doesn't really wanna stay that way. So get that sliced. Let's get them all sliced up. Okay, maybe this is fine. Maybe I was overthinking it. Beautiful. Okay, each and every single one of them. Could I flatten them down and cut them sideways? I could. I just don't really love doing those horizontal cuts because they always will be less precise than a vertical cut. So I just like stacking them up like that. And that should be okay. That seems to do the job just fine for my purposes at the moment, at least. Okay, lovely. There might be a little bit of the vein left over, so let's go ahead and pop that guy out. Let's not get that inside of our final spring roll. Guys, we're almost done. And then we get to assemble, and that's gonna be the most fun part. Wow, they did not do a good job of cleaning these today, did they? Yeah, some of these, they got that vein attached to them still, which is like fine. It's not like the end of the world for them to have a little vein, okay? But it's also just not a very pleasant thought of what you are actually eating. Okay, come on, buddy. Yeah, no, these guys, ooh, whoever processed them to get these veins out did not actually go all the way with it. Yeah, so let's just clean them up. Let's just get them nice and presentable for everybody, okay? But it's also all cooked through, so there's really nothing to really worry about aside from the psychological implications. Okay, few more to go, guys. Slice them all up, slice them up, slice them up, slice them up. Oh, this one has just not been deveined at all. What is going on? Guys, come on. Really? It's so much more annoying to even clean them up when they've already been cooked, because then the vein just starts falling apart completely. So, not very happy about this at the moment. But again, it's fine. It's mostly a psychological thing for people to not be comfortable with eating the vein, and for good reason too. But in terms of actual like texture and taste, it's fine. And it's also safe. Okay, that seems to be okay. This seems to be okay. And last but not least, everybody, one last shrimp, cut them all the way through, and we got them, is what I would say. But we still got to clean up that tail again. Okay, everybody, all of my shrimp has now been processed and it's ready to go to be wrapped and rolled. So I am now going to go ahead and get that station ready. The last thing that we need to do though is I do need to finish up my rice noodles. My rice noodles, I just got to go ahead and strain out all of the liquid from them. So everybody please bear with me for just one more moment and then we'll be all ready to go to begin making my lovely spring rolls. It'll be nice. Okay. Once again, I'm just getting my rice noodles out of that hot water. They've been soaking for a sufficient amount of time. And I'm just agitating them and getting rid of all of that excess starch on the outside of the noodle so that they don't stick to each other. Too much at least. Breaking them up, some warm water all the way through them. There she is. Okie dokie. And let's go ahead and get all of my rice noodles now that they've been drained. Let's get all that excess liquid out, guys. And then we are going to begin making my spring rolls, which I'm really excited for. Okay, that seems to be as much water as I can physically remove from them. Let's go ahead and get a little plate to put all of my rice noodles on. Awesome. Okay. Everybody, my assembly station, my assembly line for making these spring rolls is about to commence. This is the part that we've all been waiting for. This is the part that is the most exciting. This is the part that is the most fun part of the whole day today. Also, welcome on in, Horace. Not going to say your full tag, but welcome on in. It's lovely to have you. Everybody, I'm about to get my station prepped and all ready to go. Is everybody ready for this? I want to hear a nice yes, chef. Please and thank you, because this is the most exciting part of today. Also, Eskia, welcome on in. It's lovely to have you. Hello, hello, hello. And I do mean a yes, chef from everybody, because this is it. This is the moment. Okay, all of my rice noodles, all of my shrimp, all of my herbs, and my lettuce, and my scallion. All of that is ready to go as well. Everything is about to activate. Okay? And I also got to go ahead and get this bowl filled with some nice warm water. And we'll do one last recap session. And then, my friends, we will begin to assemble all of my spring rolls. Okie dokie. That is that. That's that. That's that. That's that. I got to make space for all of the stuff that I'm going to have on my table right now, okay? I'm going to show you my beautiful collection, my beautiful assortment of ingredients. Okay, and let's also get a nice big cutting board for this one. And we're going to put a paper towel under it so it doesn't slide around. But guys, I'm about to show you my assortment of ingredients here. Okay, so just 1 second. I know this isn't a very impressive shot. Why am I getting so many follows? I got no question. I got no clue. So there is a phenomenon in the Netherlands where people put scallion on everything, but excessive amount of scallion. Really? I love scallions. There's no such thing as an excess of scallions for me. So what is happening? Am I getting like follow-botted right now? Oh. Yeah, guys, I think there's like some sort of a bot. I don't know. I'm not crazy about this at the moment. But that's okay. That's chill. It's kind of annoying. It'll just sort of slow down the queue. They're all scrambled names. Okay, Twitch usually has this, and then they deal with it at some point or another. This happens every so often. I don't know why. Okay, that's that. And let's go ahead and get my lovely daikon radish out from the fridge. My daikon radish and my carrots all ready to go. There she is. Okie dokie. Everybody, it is just about time for us to begin assembly. So let's walk you through all of my different components that we have here. This is my shrimp, gently poached, beautifully cooked. These are my rice noodles, my vermicelli noodles. Oh man, those notifications are annoying. I don't know if I have any moderators on right now. Trash Can Cat Mom, is there something that we can do about this? I won't be able to respond to a DM right now, but it's fine if not. Okay, so some lettuce, some scallions, some cilantro, and guys, last but not least, the most important component for the whole thing, some rice paper. This is the base of it all. You need the rice paper, okay? And so, let's begin making them. And so here's the workflow, everybody. Here's the workflow. We're going to take a little sheet of rice paper, and I've never made one of these before, so hopefully it all works out okay. little bit of rice paper. Yeah, so, Drew, we're getting like a bunch of like followers, like a bunch of follow bots, and I don't know if there's something that you can do about it. That's all. And if not, that's totally okay too. Okay. And I want to also go ahead and get some chopsticks just to be able to pick up my daikon. Okay, guys, you ready for this? So, here is my rice paper. We're going to take this and we're just going to gently dunk this in some water all the way around. Okay, and it will get there, is my understanding, some nice warm water. Let's take it out. There we go. Also, I don't know which side I'm supposed to use, but we'll figure it out. It'll be okay. So the first thing that we're going to start with is we're going to start with a lettuce leaf. And these guys might be a little too big for the size of spring roll. So I'm just going to go ahead and break it in half. And we're going to just line them up just like this. I think that should be nice. Okay, here's my rice paper. This is my lettuce. Okay, everybody, we're now going to do a nice big old stack of some cilantro. We're gonna just have that down right now. Big stack of cilantro. We're gonna spread it out nice and flat. And then guys, we're going to go ahead and get some of my lovely rice noodles. And this is the base of it all. This is the base. This is the majority of the volume inside of the final spring roll. Okay, and then, everybody, let's go ahead and do some of my daikon and my carrots all mixed up. We're going to take it and we're just going to line it all up next to it. Something like that, I think. Something like that. Okay, everybody, this is the moment. This is the moment where it all happens. And now we take some shrimp. We want to put them the pretty side down. Pretty side down. We'll have them all facing the same way up. We're going to nestle all that in nice and tight. Everybody, one little scallion, two little scallions. Are you ready for this? Is this going to turn out well? Let's find out. Is my rice paper completely stuck to my cutting board? The answer is no, it's actually fine. I think I might have over-soaked my rice paper. I think my rice paper is somewhat sticking to my cutting board, but that's okay. Let's take it, everybody. Let's pick it up. Let's pick it up. I've learned my mistakes. I've learned my lesson. Let's take it. Let's take it all. Let's pick it all up. Okay? And now, let's go ahead and fold over the sides. Also, that's okay, Jew. Thank you for trying. I was just wondering if there's anything we can do to at least stop, like, the notifs, but if not, that's totally okay, too. Okay, guys? Let's take it, and we gotta pick up, we gotta lift those sides. So I know why people told me not to over-soak this now. I see why. It all makes sense now. But it's okay. My first one, never going to be the best one. Take it, and everybody, let's roll it up. Let's roll it up nice and tight. Nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight. And this is my first one. Now, I got to say, as my first one, not bad. But what did I learn? I just want to gently brush it with some water instead. But guys, for my first one, I don't think I did that bad at all. That's really not bad. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little plate for it. Look at this thing. Look at this bad boy. Huh? That's pretty good. Look at that thing. Look at that shrimp. Oh, that looks lovely. Okay, everybody, I have a bit of newfound confidence now. Let's go ahead and let's do the second one. And this guy, I'm just going to barely drench it in the water. Barely get any of that water on it. Okay, get as much of it off as possible. Also, does anybody know if like there's a certain side I should be using? I don't know. Okay, let's go ahead and do the next one. A little bit of lettuce. Remember, I don't want to get any of like the crunchy white part. I just want to get as much of the leafy green as possible here. Okay, and we're going to have it stick out just like this. And we're going to do, once again, a nice bundle of cilantro right here. Just right along it. And everybody, and we're going to just run all of those rice noodles through. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and grab some of my lovely pickled daikon and carrot. Lay that in, lay all of that in. There she is. Awesome. Lay all of that in. And then last but not least, everybody, Mr. Shrimp. Flesh side down, flesh side down, flesh side down, and flesh side down. Just like that. Okay? Let's take it and let's wrap it up, guys. Let's roll it up. This one is sticking significantly less because my soaking time was so much less than it was before. Okay, it's a little crunchy over there, actually, so that's okay. Okay, wait, let's do the scallion now. Oh, actually, no, let's first fold the sides over, and then we do the scallion, because I want the scallion to kind of like stick out. Okay, something like that. And then we do the scallion. Like this. Everybody, let's roll them up. Let's roll them up, let's roll them up. Let's get them all in there nice and tight and lined up beautifully. Okay, how did I do with this one? The answer is not actually as good as the first one, but it's okay. We'll still figure it out, everybody. We'll still figure out a nice way to make them all pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and get this onto my plate. But I gotta say, for my first ones, really not bad at all. Okay, so what did I learn? I should have probably soaked my center a little bit as well. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do this time. I'm just going to get my rice paper in there really, really quickly, dunk it in. And now all of it should be nice and covered with all that water. Everybody, a little bit of lettuce. Once again, only the green parts I'm using for today because the white part's a little too crunchy. Get that in there. Get a bunch of fresh cilantro inside. Okay, get a nice big old stack of rice noodles all the way through. Okay, and a little bit more rice noodles, probably to this one. Everybody, let's go ahead and do some more daikon radish. I mean, I wouldn't really particularly do crispy chicken for this one, and the reason why I say that is because I want this to be really, really light, and I want it to be really light and refreshing, okay? And so the crispy chicken might be like a little too heavy for such a cause. Okay, everybody? And now, once again, shrimp, beautiful side down, shrimp, beautiful side down, right, like that nice orangey side. We want all of that down. We want it to get nice and close to each other, and orange side down. Okay, we're doing about 2 shrimps per spring roll. Okay, let's go ahead and lift it up. Let's lift it up. Let's lift it up. Come on, buddy. I know you can do this. I might have over-soaked this one again, but that's okay. Okay, that might be all right. And now let's take the sides and fold them over. I cannot believe how resilient rice paper is. I cannot believe like how much tension it can take without it actually like tearing. It's so bouncy. So what is rice paper? If I'm not mistaken, I think rice paper is made out of glutinous rice, although somebody could correct me on that. Now, as for exactly how it's made, that I would not be able to tell you. But yeah, this is incredibly resilient. We could really, really wrap this up nice and tight this time. I hope so, at least. And we got another really, really nice little spring roll. Again, this one, filling's kind of poking out a little bit. Maybe not as nice as I could have gotten it, but that's okay. Okay, everybody, let's do like 3 more of these things. And then we'll call it a day. We'll call it quits. How is it that my first one is my best one? My first one was the best one out of all of them. And then these other ones, they're like lumpy. They're lumpy as heck, dude. What is that poking out? Oh, that's just like the lettuce? I see. Oh, maybe my lettuce is too crunchy. That might be also what's happening here. But guys, not bad. I actually don't think these are bad at all. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's make use of all that we have to use. So, rice paper. Again, let's get it nice and soaked. Quick soak so it doesn't over soak, so it doesn't get too wet. Let's drip all the excess water off of it. Awesome. Little lettuce leaf. Once again, just the green part. That's all I'm really looking for. Just the green part. And let's go ahead and get some more fresh cilantro. I started to run out of cilantro. I'm not going to go and prep more because that might be a little too much effort for what it's worth, but that's okay. Cilantro, and now a nice big old stack of rice noodles directly inside. Okay, maybe a little bit more rice noodle, because the rice noodle is, of course, the padding to this whole thing. And then everybody, we got to get some daikon radish in there for the flavor. We'll just line all of it up. We'll line it up, line it up. The daikon radish and the carrot mixture. Okay, and last but not least, Mr. Shrimp and get them onto each one nice and close to each other. Okay, there we go. And let's roll them up, everybody. Let's pick up the rice paper. A little bit stuck again, but again, that is totally okay. And roll them up and roll them up. And then once we get to the midway point, we're going to take it and we're going to fold in those sides, fold in the sides to encase and seal everything inside. Oh, I think I forgot the scallion for this one, but that's okay. We'll just keep going, we'll keep rolling, we'll do the next one with some scallion in place of what was lost before. Okay, a little lumpy. Guys, mine are not coming out all that even, I gotta say. They're a little lumpy, aren't they? Okay, and I'll just pop that one onto my plate again. So what is happening? I think that I'm going a little too close to the edges. I'm going a little too close to the edges and things are starting to now pop out of them. I cannot believe I'm this bad at making them. Oh, this rice paper actually broke, but I think that will end up being ultimately okay. I don't think that'll end up being a problem at all. Okay, everybody, once again, lettuce leaf. We begin with a little lettuce. And then we take some rice paper. Or some noodle. Oh, did I already run out of cilantro? Is my cilantro all gone? I think my cilantro is all gone. That's a bit of a tragedy, but that's okay. Let's take some of my rice noodles, stack them inside. Let's make sure that my filling doesn't go too close to the edge this time. So what happened was I overfilled it on the edges and everything started pulling out as a result. And now we can take the daikon and line it up right here. Okay. Again, nothing to my edges this time. All of my shrimp, flesh side down, flesh side down. Get them all in there, guys. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Hopefully this is going to be the one. This is going to be it. So we take it and we pick it up. We pick it up and we roll it. And we take it, guys, and now we fold it. We fold it over and we fold it tight this time. We fold it so tight that it has absolutely nowhere else to go. Okay, and now we could probably stick in some scallion as well, right down the middle. Fine, uncomfortable amount of scallion, uncomfortable it is. All of that scallion right down the middle. And let's take it, everybody. This is going to be the good one, I think. Maybe, hopefully. Oh, the lettuce didn't actually... Oh, the crack in the rice paper. It's coming back to bite me. Oh, no. The rice paper has actually ended up tearing. This is oddly reminiscent of my tortillas from Friday. Okay. And I think I have enough material to do one last one. But not exactly a looker, but it'll be okay, I think. I think she'll be okay no matter what. Okay, everybody, one last one. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's not crack the rice paper this time. Just gonna take it and dunk it in and dunk it in and dunk it in and spread out all of that water on that surface just to make sure that all of it gets to be the way that it needs to be. Okay, lettuce. Where is my lovely lettuce? There she is. And so what I'm guessing is we also really want my rice noodles to be contained in the lettuce dimension. So I don't want my rice noodles to spill out of it or anything. Okay, rice noodles right in the center this time. We're not going to have the rice noodles to the edges. Right, so enough rice noodles right down the middle. Something like that I think will be good. Okay, and let's once again, let's get some of that daikon. Let's get some of that radish. Let's get some of that carrot. Right down here. Okay, and let's go ahead and get some shrimpies. Each of these little guys, stack them up, but we never want to go over the edge. We have to overlap them, at least a little bit. Okay, something like that, at least. Okay, everybody, this is going to be the one. You ready? So we take it, and what do? We roll it up. Oh, this is going to be a good one. I know it. Okay, we take it and we fold the sides, my friends. We fold the sides and we seal its fate. This is gonna be it. This is gonna be the one. And then we take a little bit of scallion. And then we roll them up. This edge is slightly perforating, but that's okay. My pride and joy. And that's it. And I think that this would be a really good stopping point. Everybody, my summer rolls have been completed. Look at this lovely stack. Look at this thing. Pretty good, I think, at least personally. And now, let's go ahead and assemble this onto each of my plates. I'm gonna grab a separate plate. Oh, am I gonna be able to unstick each one from the other ones? The answer is kind of, but they do really want to stick to each other. So let me go get my most beautiful ones, not my disheveled ones. Or maybe a couple disheveled ones will be okay too. 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the rest of my summer rolls. 2, and where is 3? Am I gonna take which one for 3? Okay. Let's do this one. Ah, it's completely fallen apart. No, that's okay. Nobody has to know. Nobody has to see anything at all. Okay, and we're gonna go take my 2 dipping sauces, my spicy peanut sauce and my lime sauce, my fish sauce. And guys, that's gonna be it. We've done it. We've done everything that we've needed to for today. So let's talk about everything that we've accomplished together. First and foremost, we made some pickled daikon and carrot. Little quick pickled daikon carrot. We really gently poached some shrimp. We made a spicy peanut sauce out of some sriracha, some garlic, some peanut butter. This, my friends, is a little fish sauce base with some lime juice, with some cilantro, with some garlic and some ginger. And then we rolled everything up. It has some lettuce, it has some cilantro, it has some scallions inside. And that is my Vietnamese summer rolls. Now granted, some of them are falling apart, but that's totally okay. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Let's go ahead and have a little bite. Now, as for how we even get that bite to begin with, that is gonna be the question. Do I just do my hands on this one? Is that what am I just doing here? I think I'm just gonna use my hands because honestly, trying to cut this or do anything with it at this point is just going to cause it to fall apart. So let's just do my hands. Let's grab my spring roll, my summer roll. Okay, let's take this bad boy and let's go ahead and do the peanut sauce first. Oh. Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm. It's so light. It's so fresh. The sauce is lovely. It's amazing. Yeah, it's perfect. Let's go ahead and take it and put some into my lime fish sauce. Just like that. Yeah. Oh. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, it's all falling apart a little bit, but that's okay. That is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and eat the rest of it off camera. Mm. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. I apologize for being a little bit low energy. Oh, thank you all for being here. Everybody, the next stream is going to be this Wednesday, 5 p.m. EDT. For those of you that haven't checked out my Patreon, if you'd like to support the show, check it out, ! Patreon. Otherwise, I'm going to be out of here. I need a nap to save my life at this point. Thank you all. Be safe, be well. I'll see you guys really, really soon, okay? So have a good night, and I'll see you this Wednesday.